Episode 138 of the Wilderness Podcast is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Support the show at patreon.com/thewildernesspodcast. Our supporter of the week is Tanko Stylz. We're also brought to you by Audible. Get a free month and a free audiobook at audibletrial.com/wild. Welcome to episode 138 of the Wilderness Podcast. I'm your host, Dills, and with me, as always, is Deegan.
Hey, how's it going?
So, wow, we got a bit of a doozy this week, don't we? It's a double doozy. We had the final Deadman Mode tournament that happened on the weekend, some changes to Teleblock and Clan Wars, and, wow, here we go. Partnerships and old school RuneScape. That's yeah. Anyways, we're gonna get into all of that. So, of course, we're gonna announce the winners from the skill competition. The 3 winners that we picked, and you're now able to vote on it. You can check our Discord for the survey, and 2 more episodes or so, we'll actually announce the winners from the voting. So. Yeah, before we get into that, Deegan, anything exciting this week to mention?
No. I don't know. Nothing really worth, talking about, I guess. Just real-life stuff, work.
Yeah, okay. Fun.
Yeah, haven't really played any video games.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. It happens. It's summertime. Enjoying the outdoors a bit. I know I've played a bit of RuneScape. I did some fishing, and then I'm getting kind of bored of fishing, so I just switched it up and did some smithing. Just smithing addy bars and some blast furnace when I'm doing something that if I'm able to give more focus on RuneScape, I'll be doing blast furnace, but a lot of the times I'm doing smithing adamant bars, turning them into darts, doing Netflix or something on the side, and then I'm playing my pure. Actually, I did start playing on the permanent Deadman Mode server on my pure account. I've been kind of playing as an Iron Man, and it was fun. No one's really been killing me. I can walk past someone and they're not gonna just straight up kill me for no reason. It happens sometimes, but not more often. It doesn't happen. So that was fun, and I was just doing Slayer, and then I got a Killer Watts task. Yeah, haven't really been playing since that task, and I just been back fishing on the normal servers. But honestly, yeah, that's about it. Nothing really to mention in real life. And like I said, we got some doozies this week to talk about, so we may as well just jump right into it. So I guess we'll start off light.
Yep, so the Clan Wars extra options have been implemented into the game at this point. So there's a leaving channel setting, so the setting can be used to toggle whether players leaving the clan chat are counted as a death or not. Rejoining, an option for rejoining a clan chat during a game, which would include the unrestricted or 60-second limit cap. Team cap, an option to cap group fights to the following 5v5, 10v10, 15v15, 20v20, 30v30, or uncapped.
Nice.
Pretty important options to add for clan fights. It makes it way less
makes it more legit.
Yeah.
I could see
honor-bound. Is that the word I'm looking for? Where you're please don't cheat. Oh, you cheated.
Yeah, and I can see some third-party websites starting to do tournaments. You know what I mean? Having their own little fun sort of tournament.
Yeah.
And without it being
some ESCA.
I was just about to say without it being super sketchy, but
some face it.
God damn it. As soon as you sign up to a site for RuneScape, you're at risk.
Yeah.
So I don't even know. But I know
ESL maybe.
What's that?
ESL.
Yeah. I know with tons of those when I played Xbox 360 and stuff COD 4 and a bunch of other games, they had all these little, there were small tournaments that I wasn't very good at the game, but I could sign up for these tournaments and play. Counter-Strike 2, right? They had it wasn't the professional tournaments, it was a beer league for Counter-Strike.
Well, yeah, they've always had that. Way back in the day, they had Cal, which was the third party kind of season type, you know, with it's playoffs and type thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
There was open, they're like, which was, anyone can just get a team and like, join. And then they like, there's main premieres, invites where like you kind of, if you win certain things, you can get invited to like the better leagues. And I guess now that would be like CEVO, Face It, and ESEA for like CSGO.
No idea.
But yeah, maybe we can see something happen with like RuneScape now.
Yeah, like 5v5s, you know what I mean? Like, let's say like you get, some friends and you're like, let's go mess around on it. The only problem I have with, I don't think you can do this, but I wish you could have your account like the stats at 99, like a tournament world, you know what I mean? Or like last man standing. This way it didn't matter who you chose on your team. Like, it sucks that you're like, well, I want to choose the person who's maxed out with the best gear that they're probably going to win. Right?
Not necessarily.
Unless, do I see it here? No, but it'd be cool to be like rune earn only. You know what I mean? Setting the gear requirements so it's like more fair.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, maybe in the future.
Well, you could do that on a third-party website, right? You could just say like the second you notice, if someone's cheating with it, you just like, but then the cheating's gonna happen.
Oh yeah,
someone's gonna sneak in like a DDS if you say no DDSs.
You just have to like have people record.
Everyone recording, yeah.
Yeah, I know with
just Counter-Strike, you have to do that.
Yeah,
okay.
You said demos like you can record it within the client. You don't need like Fraps or OBS. You can record demos and then you'd have to submit them.
Cool. Okay,
that'd be kind of neat. But anyways, moving on, they did some teleblock changes.
Oh.
So killing the player or NPC that teleblocks you now removes the teleblock effect. A player who successfully removes their teleblock this way will not be immune to another.
Man, I'm having mad deja vu. I swear I said this last episode, but I swear we talked about this already.
I think we talked about free-to-play teleblocks.
God damn.
Yeah.
They're fucking waterboarding us with this teleblock just to make it so like I have no idea what teleblock does now because they keep cramming it in every devblog. Yeah. For all I know, they're adding it so it does damage now.
Well, like I think this is a good change to teleblock, mainly because like you're in a 1v2, let's just say like easiest way for you to survive. You're in a 1v2, kid TBs you and then like entangles and runs away.
Yeah. And
then his buddy comes up, maybe he specs you and then runs away. And then his buddy comes up and jumps you. If you can find a way to kill that the TBer and escape, like that's kind of cool.
Sure.
Or even like if the guy's TBing you, you can it would be worth it to stay in combat with him and try and kill him. Like, okay, you might be low on supplies, but now you're not teleblocked. Like it gives more reason to fight back as a PVMer. And even what if you're against like a solo PKer that is rocking teleblocks for some reason and like surge, like a fire surge?
Yeah.
You kill him and escape.
I'm having mad deja vu about this whole conversation.
Well, we've talked about it when they mentioned it. Now it's implemented. Now it's in the game.
If anyone notices this conversation sounds similar, let me know because I'm freaking out over here. You ever have that where you're like, I don't know, just on your way to work or something, and something happens, you're like, the deja vu feeling, and you're like, fuck, I feel like I can predict what's gonna happen next.
Yeah. So moving on to the next topic. So teleblock changes. I'm kidding, but
holy shit, dude.
What? But yeah. So
I just hope people are in their car right now being like, oh, I'm having deja vu too. We're forcing people to have deja vu.
I was driving under this bridge as I know that I'm having crazy deja. They were talking about having deja vu when I was driving home from work.
And they go back and listen to 137 and we literally have the same conversation. It's all scripted.
We should just like copy this whole clip and put it in like
every single episode. Yeah, a year from now.
Yeah, moving on. So the Deadman Mode Summer Finals. It happened on the 29th of Saturday.
Do we talk about that now?
Do you want to?
Let's finish this devblog. Because the Deadman modes are a conversation in it of its own.
Yeah. It happened. We'll discuss. We'll give our thoughts. Thoughts and prayers about it afterwards.
They went out with a bang.
Well,
it's a
kind of
blank bang.
Yeah, account security. They're just like, make sure you read the account security blog.
Yeah, we talked about it before, and they're basically saying, we're gonna be. They're just they're reposting their own shit.
Yeah,
they're just
karma farming.
Yeah, you know when we talked about the security update they planned on doing,
it's like
they still plan on doing it.
It's like an announcement of an announcement of an announcement of an announcement.
Yeah, that one was like, we're going to be working on this. And then they just basically did it a second time saying, all right, guys, be prepared because we're going to be posting in the next like couple weeks about what's coming up.
Yeah. And then this is pretty much like, hey, you guys heard that we're going to be posting about this, like what we've,
Expect to hear this specifically.
Yeah.
It's account security.
Yep. RuneFest 2019 tickets are still on sale. Head over to the official RuneFest page.
I'm there now. October 4th and 5th, 2019.
Yep. It's going to be totally epic.
Hell yeah.
And they're bringing back skill chips, adding new activities, entertainment, and all the biggest announcements from both RuneScape and old school teams. RuneFest is a celebration like no other, and oh boy is it. You can look forward to panel sessions with your favorite JMods, content creators, an awesome 200 PC LAN party.
Wow, that's going to smell.
Yeah. Get your buckets.
Yeah, they provide them.
Yeah.
Your RuneFest metal buckets.
And goodie bags filled with RuneFest loot, which is a bucket filled with...
a thing that says
toilet paper and
no, it's gonna be like an IOU, and then you have to wait years to get it.
Yeah,
or you have to come back next year for RuneFest. That's how they get you coming back.
Mm-hmm.
It looks good. They haven't said anything like special that they're doing. Like I mean, in the sense that last year they had that big orchestra that played RuneScape music, which was pretty damn dope. So nothing like that has been announced yet. It's just like kind of like the cosplay, I don't know, awards and Golden Gnome awards. So go ahead and nominate us for that one.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if later on they're like, hey, yo, we secured, I don't know, Wiz Khalifa's going to come. Is he still relevant?
Yeah, he released a new album
really
recently. Yeah.
See, I work at this pop radio station. And I get to like put all the music in. I never hear anything about Wiz Khalifa. Pop music has interesting trends. Katy Perry, she's old news. No one cares about her anymore. Anyways,
she needs to upgrade those double Ds. That's what she needs. Bigger than her head, I say. But RuneFest should be lit, fam.
Sweet.
Yeah. We're trying to reach to a younger audience. Anyways, so...
Yeah, let's dab on the haters.
Yeah. So, in other news, PvP rotation. Cool. So, a lot of people are going to complain and on PvP for a week.
Sure. Okay. And then there's people like me who are like, what does this even mean?
Yep. The anti-spam teleport system has been applied to teleports from spellbooks and PvP worlds and has been extended to the teleport tablets, Amulet of Glory, Games Necklace, and they will be monitoring to make sure people aren't abusing spam tellying. Because if you don't know, you can teleport to negate damage, and at one point people would like chill at Varrock, they'd fight you, and then you'd go in for your spec, and they just teleport to Varrock, and then they're like you're like, oh, he's gone, and then he's like right next to you, and then he jumps you, and you're like,
bastards.
Oh. And it's a big thing in like ragging as well.
No smart PvPers.
Yeah. The player Demi Lancer now gets credit for contributing to like the clue scroll stuff.
Nice. Good on him.
Yeah. So shout out to him.
This sucks. It's been like a month at least.
Yep. I think we talked about it last episode with the player who got stuck in a free-to-play world.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can now escape that. So they fixed that.
Cool. Sat there for a week.
Yeah.
And Jagex like, don't worry, we got something in the fix for Thursday. And he's like, you guys can't just manually do it right now. Like that's Friday. That's like almost a week away.
That's pretty much it. They made the Penguin Island that can now be accessed through the fairy ring code AJS. It's now multi-combat.
Oh no, not the penguins.
This has been changed to counteract the Hesidious rework, nerfing bird tasks assigned by Tyrael.
Oh, damn. People think of everything.
Yeah.
Sick.
I thought that, I don't want to spoil anything, but I thought that update, that change was affecting something else, but.
We're going to talk about it later?
No.
What did you think it was going to affect?
You know the Penguin quest? What is it called?
Oh, Cold War.
Yeah. Thought they were changing something in that. Yeah, never mind.
All right.
So that's pretty much it for the updates.
Fun. Event filled.
Yeah. All right. See you next week.
That was a quick one. You can catch the rest of the episode on Patreon.
Yeah. Subscribe to our Patreon. This was just the trailer.
Yeah.
Just the teaser.
Trying something new.
Yeah. We're following Twitch's sub-only streams, but now we're doing sub-only podcasts.
We really want to go to RuneFest this year.
Yeah. I got lewds. Wild lewds.
It's a thumbnail, and unfortunately you're forced to look at it when you're listening to the episode.
Yeah.
It's actually a GIF. We won't say much more than that. All right, so you Patreon exclusive members. Now on to the VIP episode.
Oh,
cue the music.
Yeah. But, so is it Deadman Mode now?
Yeah.
So last Deadman Mode happened.
It did, and I mean, it seems cheesy doing it twice in a row, but it's the last episode. So I guess should we kick it over to Mod Archie to let us know what Deadman Mode is and why are they they're closing it?
Yep, take it to you, Archie.
Thank you to the guys who run this show.
Deadman Mode was first discussed on a Q&A livestream April 16th, 2015.
Where effectively you'll have a hardcore PvP world. Accounts will only be able to log into this world and get XP in this world.
The idea was simple. A high-risk, high-reward game mode with boosted experience rates and mechanics never seen before in old school. And we quickly found ourselves creating the new game mode.
Keys are going in my pocket. I appreciate the bank, my friend. GG.
After its release, the idea to introduce seasons leading up to a broadcasted tournament came up. And we held our first ever tournament on the 26th of March 2016. This tournament comprised of the top 2,000 ranked players, all being invited to compete in a battle royale style fight, with dangerous fog encroaching until one player was left standing, winning the $10,000 grand prize. Over the many seasons, we've released copious amounts of updates to give the game mode variety and make things more interesting.
Got him, KO! There it is.
Each tournament has seen impressive commitment from the various clans and teams over the years, as well as the many solo players and content creators.
Oh yes, we got him! Oh my...
Resulting in 15 epic tournaments and nearly $350,000 awarded to the winners. Deadman Mode has helped to show what old school RuneScape is capable of if we follow our ambitions, and we're grateful for all it's given us. We released a blog back in April letting you know the Deadman Summer Finals will be the last Deadman in its current format, as Deadman will be on hiatus until we've taken the time to redesign it. This is not us cancelling Deadman. It's an opportunity to go back to the drawing board and take a closer look at what we've learned from the game mode so far, and where we'd like to take it from here. That said, thank you all for being a part of Deadman. We hope you join us in looking forward to what the future holds for the game mode.
So boom, Deadman Mode in a nutshell, and we had casting it was Ian Spam and almost said Mod Aiza. Just Aiza.
Yep.
Aiza TV. So those two were casting the event.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, what did you think leading up to the 1v1s?
I think this was like one of like the best. Sadly, well, not sadly, but
I mean, it's good to end it on a high note.
Yeah, I think like this is like the most well done. It was like quick, interesting because like Rot came back in for the first time in a while. Fools didn't come in.
That's that Finland.
Yeah, the Finnish clan. Like Rot had like a alliance of like 250 plus people, and then Lit had like 250 plus people. And then there was like clans like Blazers. I had like 30, and then like was it GG or something?
I have no idea.
That had like 30. But it's kind of cool seeing like the smaller clans, how they kind of just do their own thing, and then huge alliances that like, yeah.
Yeah, you got like the big armies versus the smaller armies that are like, maybe it seemed like there was 2 or 3 huge alliances, and then multiple smaller things doing their own thing. But it's almost like these alliances could have been like, hey, team up with us, we need more manpower. I don't know.
Or like, we're not gonna waste resources. Like at one point, Blazers, like I think it was Blazers, saw Lit waiting on one of the lines to go and like push in one of the final zones, and like Rot was in there, and they're like, we're not gonna waste our time fighting these dudes. So then they all kind of just joined, and then like, it's cool seeing the 2 big clans fight and the smaller clans just kind of chill, and like they're being really like strategic about it. If you go back and watch some of the people that like released like the, like I think someone, is it Solo Mission? Like a little 2-minute thing.
No idea.
I don't know. I always like watching some like the YouTubers, what like from their perspective and stuff, and from like the clans, just because you get more insight on like what goes on before the final hour.
You know, I never really watched
1v1s.
Yeah, I never really watched that stuff. I should give it a. What YouTubers would you recommend?
Well, I guess for this season, I mean, Torvest is always good.
He's kind of a solo player, though, no?
He's a solo player, and then he joins a clan at the end. Solo Mission.
Because the thing is, I don't really watch much Twitch to begin with, let alone during the Deadman Mode, leading up to the final hour. I don't really follow the clans, so I'm usually out of the loop. Which does kind of hinder my experience in watching it, clearly, right? That's one of my complaints usually, is I don't know what's going on when they're dropping these names.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I could watch them on YouTube, but I just don't, for whatever reason. So you said Torvesta, Solo Mission?
Yeah. If you're like new to watching the whole grind, Mika 279, even though like I'm not the biggest fan of him in general, if I'm going to be honest. And if you he does kind of the same strategy, but if you've never watched him,
could be good.
I mean, it's good in the beginning, but you watch 6 or 7 series, it's the same thing over and over again.
Is there anything that's like a clan? Obviously, you're watching from one player's perspective, but I think I would be really interested to see the clan's perspective, with someone being like, our clan locked down this area. Here's what we did as a clan. Boom, boom. Instead of just watching a solo player doing it, you watch a clan play.
I think Fool's Justice might do it. I don't know. Like, because I like watching like the solo PKers and stuff like that, and they always just end up joining clans. And like the clans don't want to leak their strats, especially like throughout the week.
Right.
Sometimes they'll do like a highlight of like, this is what we did, and then most people don't care at that point. Because Solo Mission is like a 2-minute video of like them clearing a clan. I forget what clan, but from Lunar Isle, so that you can do lunar diplomacy. And like he was one of the few people to get Dragon Slayer 2 done.
Cool.
So like,
what does that give him though?
Barrel gloves.
Okay.
Which is huge.
Just for the quest points.
Well, like, so you need 200 quest points for Dragon Slayer 2, so he gets barrel gloves along the way.
Oh.
He gets like a fire cape and stuff like that. But the dragon limbs and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then resources from Vorkath and whatnot that he needs. He also like fun stuff, because at the end of the day he works with the clan.
Yeah.
So like they funnel gear around, and he's kind of like doing it for content, but. And then, Torvesta just kind of plays on 2 accounts and, like, shows you some cool stuff.
Cool.
Mika, he just does, like, Mad Slayer and, like, hits max stats and stuff. Yeah, like, they're all, like, pretty interesting. I like them. There's some other people, but I'm not the biggest, like, Ditterbitter is, like, pretty interesting, but he kind of gets fed a lot of gear from his clan, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't find that interesting.
Yeah, as a spectator, it's I can see why.
Mangta Mage is like a lot of PKing this final week.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's like pretty nice to watch. And Oh, Sea Engineer.
Sea Engineer. All right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed his series this week.
So there's a bunch there that should get you started for the tournament that's never coming back. But
Yeah.
hey, there you go. There's some content to watch through.
Yeah.
So then leading up, it was pretty cool. And I do think that if they were to have... It came clear, especially as each tournament went on, that it was a very much clan man mode. That's the joke, right?
Yep.
And you can see why, because powers and numbers. But I do think that if they had a better clan system, it would make it more interesting to watch.
Yeah, so I think Deadman Mode, something that they should consider with the new Deadman Mode is... because they've taken the approach of just allowing clans to do whatever.
Yeah.
And it gets like super like toxic. But you know what I mean? Like it's really boring. Mm-hmm. And then they had it where they tried so hard to kill clans. Remember when they had like the one season where it's like everyone was an Iron Man?
Sort of. Vaguely.
Yeah. They tried to make everyone a solo player. I think what they should do is like somehow set a system that limits the size of teams.
You got. I don't know.
It makes it a lot harder.
I think they either need to do what you said, like make it less clan centric, or make it completely clan centric. Right now, they
both. They've tried both times, and both times it like was like miserable because like raw DDoS memes. Like when like that was real. Like, do you remember the El Karad finish?
Oh yeah,
that was like, okay, we can't just like cater to the clans because this is ridiculous. And then the Iron Man mode thing, which was just like clans abusing it and being way too far ahead.
But yeah, leading up to the final 1v1s, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. It was decently fast paced too.
Yeah, nothing. That's the thing. It was fun to watch, but there's no controversial moments. Nothing really stood out necessarily. Like there's some fun moments, but like nothing that was like, oh man, you need to go back and watch it because of this.
Yeah, no crazy D spears or Vesta spears going on. Like,
pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then 1v1s happened.
Yeah, they were pretty good. I'm not the biggest fan of how the commentators just talk about the content creators the whole time.
Yeah,
I can see why though they do it, because like you want to like push like the stars, air quotes.
Yeah. You'll enjoy Deadman Mode much more if you're watching
and rooting for one person to win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas like I said last time when I was the reruns when I was watching, I didn't root for anyone, but it also made me kind of bored, and I found I wasn't caring about any fight.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing with like if you ever watch MMA. Like, normally it's fun to just pick some dude that you want to win, or you bet. You put money on it, and you're going to already be invested.
Yeah.
But if you're like, I don't care who wins, you're not going to care about the fight. You're not going to enjoy it as much.
Yeah, I think the big issue is that everyone hides their names.
Yeah, that's another one.
Because, like, you want to stay hidden because you get focused. Even if you're, like, Bodhi, right? Or, like, he's a pretty good PKer, but he's never going to win the 1v1s.
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
they're like the people that win are just way better.
And people want to be the one to take him down. So the clan wants to be known, hey, we killed Bodhi before the 1v1s.
Yeah. So like he'll be forced to change his name, and then they have to like, okay, we have word that Bodhi got in.
Yeah.
We can't tell you his name. But they kind of like referenced that they've spoiled or like ruined clan strats in the past. I don't know if you picked up on this during the
they did
the final hour. They're like, we're not gonna like mention these names. Like we're not gonna say like they.
Well, I know Ian was saying like, hey, I got this notebook here with all this information. That being said, lots of clans don't tell me information because they don't want me just straight up saying, hey, this is what they did.
Yeah, so they have planned. They have like kind of wait for it, and then they talk about it after it's safe. Because you know, from
a spectator's like, once it's happened, you're gonna care less about it unless you're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, this might happen. You might be, oh shit. Whereas like something happens and you're just like watching, you might miss it, and they're like, did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
This is what happened, and people are like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Can we rewind it and rewatch it?
Yeah, because they can ruin a clan's chance by like one like slip, and then So they kind of have to wait for like it to happen and then mention like, okay, yeah, they did this 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. I don't remember anything really notable happening.
Some nice KOs.
Yeah.
Some like, was it quarterfinals, like top 8, where like some dude just got like ripped in like 10 seconds, and he was a really good tri-britter, and he just got like outplayed. He got hit off like prey with the Vesta, like just got 40s dropped on him, and he died so fast. It was really nice to watch because you don't really see it that much. But
yeah, that's the thing. Normally, it's like whoever runs out of food.
The one thing I noticed is that the gear, like meta, changed even for the last one, where you saw people rocking like a Vestas and max strength with like bandos and stuff, where you wouldn't really see that. Like there's one point where the meta was Verax and Vengeance, and that was it.
Yeah, that's right.
And then there was, but before that, it's like mage gear, get Zuriels and a Vesta, and then you get like mage, tank, mage and tank gear pretty much. But you saw people running like DPS like setups, and it was really fun to watch them because I'm assuming they did testing and they figured out like the math that like with melee protection in max, like in like full bandos and stuff and brims, you were still able to chunk like for 30s randomly if you hit them with melee. A lot of it was like on robes or not and stuff like that. Like they kind of were like figuring out ways to counter certain metas. And I thought that was really interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool seeing like round ones were like range tanks. Like you see a lot of people doing rage tanks and like a lot of tri-birders died. But then after like the first round, because they don't have a million brews from the tri-bird people, if they were good enough, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're able to start to, like, I really like seeing like that type of stuff where like
they're swapping out gears and stuff.
There's like
right?
a I don't know, like a wall that you have to go through if you're using like a tri-bird setup. Like this, you know what I mean? We're like throughout the 1v1 brackets, certain setups are better.
Okay, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, like earlier on, you got your brews and stuff.
Yeah.
Range tank. And then like after that, and they're giving you like full shark inventories. Yeah, like the more DPS people.
Yeah, you probably just want to end the fights as soon as possible, if possible at all.
Yeah, and you can't just like stall out nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything like notable you want to talk about for 1v1s?
No, so that's what I was going to wait till afterwards to say it, but the fight, I enjoyed it, but there's not really memorable moments, and I did find myself not always paying attention. It was good to watch, but I can see why they're putting it on the shelf. I got a little samesies. Yeah, there were slight differences with the gear, but I felt kind of bored watching it. For like personally, maybe it's like you said, I'm not really rooting for anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't rooting for anyone, but I like to kind of watch what they do and try and figure out why they're doing it. Like, why are they using this setup? Why is this guy bringing 8 rings of recoil? And then you find out the commentators they didn't realize that you'll get 14 sharks no matter what. And if you have like 8 rings of recoil in your inventory, they get dropped on the ground. Okay. So you saw people that kind of realize that, and they would bring a lot of recoils because it's free 40 damage right on the ring.
Yeah.
Which like adds up over time, and then you can just pick up the food as you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, it was really cool just seeing like there's like a lot of people wearing like armas, and I kind of thought that was weird because they'd like put on arma, like their arma chest plate and legs, and then spec with a Vesta, and you're like, there's negative attack bonuses on that gear.
Yeah.
Is that really a good idea? But it like worked for a lot of them, but
yeah, they have the reasons.
Yeah. I don't know. I just find that stuff really interesting because like I know enough about PKing that I can like I'll watch like, okay, this is what's going on, and these like what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And like, oh, this guy messed up his gear and this is how he's gonna like recover, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's fun to like learn and like observe little like quirky tricks that people do, and it's like some people do like things differently.
Yeah, it's nice to see people having their own personal touch and like their play style actually matters. It is a bit, but you can deviate a little bit from the meta or have your own there's more skill into it, right? So if someone's going to play differently than someone else, they're going to have different setups.
Even like how they're like faking switches
Yeah.
and like how their movement is when they catch freezes, like how they react and stuff like that. It's pretty neat, at least for me.
But I guess there was one problem that happened.
Yeah.
And it had to do with the final 1v1. I guess I'll play the clip, the clip of the announcers trying to commentate that fight, and then we'll dive into it.
Yeah.
We are ready. So we have two Blazers members. We've got Manked versus H. Both repping the same clan, of course. Both going to be friends. There's $20,000 to first. There's $10,000 to second. Let's get into the finals of the Deadman Summer Finale.
Not only that, but the last Deadman as we currently know it as well.
Yep.
What a moment this is. Piece of RuneScape history being experienced right here, ladies and gentlemen. I was wondering if they go for any like crazy tactics, for example, taking off all their armor or something fun for the viewer's spectacle, but they're going for pride right now and going to show who is the best PK.
H isn't changing his gear. He's sitting in those robes. He's been sitting in arms for 10 seconds
It's almost like he's letting Mank win, because maybe the team members have been like, you know what, let him win. He needs to take this one home. We trust Mank and such. Give him the win, man.
I think he's probably caving a little bit under the pressure. There's a 10 grand difference in this fight.
He's not caving that much. He's letting Mank win, I think. I think Mank is going to take this one home. I'm not trying to take anything away from Mank, of course, in this final, but H is just standing around right now doing a couple switches, a couple fakies, barraging with the wrong stuff on. Mank sitting in full armor, still going for the VLS wax as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm with In on this one. This fight doesn't look the same as the previous ones did. I have a feeling that H is he's either his batteries have ran out and he's decided that he needs to have a nap mid-fight, or he's letting Mank win.
What?
And there you have it.
I'm going to say you're right.
It looks like Mank has won, regardless of the fact Mank wins the last ever, as we currently know it, Deadman tournament.
Amazing. So there you have it, guys. That is the end of the Deadman Summer Finale 2019. Just to reiterate, we saw Manked and Blazers doing so well. Manked going on to win it, as we just saw. And as Aiza just touched on, this is the last one as we know it.
If you weren't watching the fight, the final 1v1 was Manked Up Mage versus Bellis. And turns out they were in the same clan, and instead of actually fighting one another, Bellis just sat there and let Manked Up Mage kill him. Yeah, okay, they're in the same clan, but it was a huge letdown from a spectator standpoint, because it's the final fight, the final 1v1s, and it wasn't irrelevant. It was the fight wasn't even relevant.
Yeah. They straight up just threw the match.
Yeah.
And they just let Manked win and get 2 wins.
And it was shitty, and it also might be the reason why when I'm like talking about this, I was a little bit bored, because it didn't make the whole lead up to it feel like, what the fuck was the point of that?
Yeah.
I felt like I had wasted my time a little bit. I was a little disappointed. Many people were disappointed,
including myself.
Yeah.
So after the final, Mank tweeted regarding the throwing of the final fight, Bellis, OSRS, and I, that we had done what we needed to do. We were both on TeamSpeak laughing our heads off. We'd guaranteed $30,000 for our team, which is Blazers. And that's all that mattered to us. We don't play for our ego. We play for our team. Which my hot take is, that's like the biggest ego trip type thing ever.
Yeah, you're basically like, it's a tournament. You have 50,000 people watching, and you said, I don't care. I don't give a fuck that 50,000 people are watching. I don't know. To me, that really soured me out. I don't know Manked Up Mage as a person, but I
hate him. No, I'm kidding.
He is the worst. No, but he was someone that I was happy when he won. This changes how I see him, at least in tournament settings.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, fucking disqualify honestly, my opinion, disqualify the whole clan. I mean, that's a huge, that might be overboard. I was like, okay, there's no controversies. This was the controversy, which in regards to Deadman Mode, it's kind of small, but I was like, you watch any other esport tournament, if that were to happen, everyone would have been disqualified.
Yeah.
The whole team would have been gone.
But was Deadman Mode ever considered an esport?
That's the thing. I never did consider an esports, but Jagex tried, right?
Well, they had one sponsor, kind of a partnership that we'll be talking about later on, but which is ESL, and ESL just helps run like small tournaments. They do big ones, obviously, but like Hearthstone or Heroes of the Storm, crappy MOBA, it's dead. But there was like tiny little ESL tournaments I would do with my buddies, right?
Sure.
Where they're just like weeklies.
Yeah.
So you could consider Deadman Mode like not like an actual esports, like a little fun.
It's an event. That's how I always thought of it as, was an event.
Yeah, I mean $30,000 is a lot for someone to play RuneScape.
Yep.
Actually, well, I guess like considering like it goes to the clan, it goes to an organization.
Yeah.
It's bigger than a lot. Like that's good prize money. Considering like certain fighting game tournaments where you're like getting like a couple thousand.
True. Okay.
And that, you know what I mean? Where you're playing a game that's much harder, like with a higher skill ceiling and everything.
Yeah.
In a 1v1 setting. That is like an actual esport.
Mm-hmm.
So like there is like the money is pretty like, honestly, like it's good bang for your buck, or like time
spent playing for the money you win.
Kind of what like in a sense, in the vacuum of like that week.
Yeah. Okay.
Like imagine
if you win.
Well, like, okay. I always bring up like fighting games because like it's
That's
a
your
1v
bread and butter.
It's a 1v1, you know what I mean? It's very like basic.
Straightforward, yeah.
Yeah. If you're like one of the best people at a fighting game, you're playing like, well, as much as somebody plays RuneScape all the time, right?
Sure.
Like if that's like your main thing, like you kind of like, if you want to be like one of the best and go to a tournament and win like $30,000, you're playing nonstop, grinding, and then like, you know, finding the best people. If you're like Korean or something, you're going like to like certain arcades where all the best players go.
Yeah.
You know, like with Tekken 7 and stuff, the amount of time these guys put in is ridiculous. And then the prize pool's like
way lower.
Yeah. With this, like if you're just putting in time for like the week, right? Like competitively.
Okay.
Like, you know, oh, I really like PKing. I've PK'd like 2,000 hours like over the course of my whole life. Yeah, I'm kind of dragging this out. My bad. But pretty much in other genres of video games, if you consider this like an esport, people are putting in way more time for way less money as opposed to someone who's doing Deadman Mode, because it's like a grand scale team based thing, right?
Okay.
You can afford to put in only 10 hours a day. Well, I guess it's 70 hours, but
if this was something that happened, this is the last tournament, so obviously I understand why nothing happened, and I get it's a bit extreme for me to say it, but if this was something that happened often in Deadman Mode tournaments, where it's like two people in the same clan, they're like, I'm gonna throw it, Jagex would be like, definitely have a stricter rule on it.
Well, they've kind of done that with remember when they had the clan fights?
Yeah. No, yeah, they have, yeah.
Like Rot's second team, some parrot type, whatever, tropical parrots or whatever. We're like, we're gonna listen in on their comms, and then like they're like joking around because they're throwing the fight because like Rot, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're fighting their brother team, and they're like, pull the routers, they're gonna win, and they're just joking around, like, but they're kind of throwing the fight.
Yeah,
it's just like no one cared because everyone hates clans.
But then it came to like the 1v1, which you never really saw this happen. You might have in like the lower brackets, but when it was like the 1v1, the final 1v1s, I don't recall anything happening to this extent.
Yeah, it was just, he took off his gear and just kind of sat there.
Yeah, he sat there and just took it, and it was blatantly obvious that he was throwing it. It wasn't like he was trying to hide it, right?
Well, they even admitted it.
Oh yeah, they admitted it, and even the J mods or the casters, neither of which are J mods, but they said like, oh, you heard it.
Yeah,
so and so's snoozing. He's taking a nap because they're kind of like, they probably panicked a bit, being like, how do we cast this? I don't want to straight up say, oh, and they're throwing the fight, because that's
well, they kind of did say that though.
They did, because it's happening and it was so obvious. Yeah. But they didn't want to outright be like, and well, that's a letdown. But it was, and people were disappointed, and I was disappointed.
Yeah, I just like the reason why I said like initially that's like the biggest ego, not like an ego trip, but it's kind of like I want to be the guy to win Deadman Mode twice, can you just let me do it? But it also came from like, I think everyone like started rooting for Manked.
Yeah.
Because he
was like he started off as like a solo player, but he'd be on stage.
He'd be on stage and he'd perform really well.
Yeah, he was good.
And the thing is, he kind of broke the meta of Rot or Lit winning over and over and over again.
Definitely, yeah. And he always made it far, right?
Yeah, like he was kind of like, yeah, people liked him because he was this dude who was like nice and stuff.
People saw him as the underdog.
Yeah,
he's not like a super big name on Twitch and stuff. He is now.
Yeah,
but he wasn't.
He is now because of like his like skill in like specifically Deadman Mode. But then Jagex also kind of like gave him a pretty big nudge by like bringing him on stage all the time, showing his POV, explaining how good he is, all that stuff, giving him like a lot of limelight. And then to do like the 1v, like he was like, he's like, obviously he like earned getting there. And even like when his first win, he earned like the victories.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of his popularity and like, what's the word I'm looking for? He's not like a superstar, obviously, but like he's like known. If you're watching Deadman Mode, they're gonna talk about him for a while.
Yeah, he gets a lot of airtime. Kind of an icon when it comes to these type of tournaments, right?
Yeah, that's a good word.
He's not Wook status or like with PVM.
Yeah, or like Bodhi in general.
Yeah,
but like, well, yeah, Deadman Mode's kind of like his.
He made a name for himself because of these tournaments.
Yeah,
though these tournaments, I don't think people would care. I mean, not to be rude, right? But this is where a lot of people were started like paying more attention to Manked.
Yeah, you have 50,000 eyes on you.
Yeah,
you're you're on stage and you do well
consistently too, right?
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, you're like, hey, this is the final Deadman Mode. Because honestly, like they're gonna have a whole new change up. They have to.
Yeah,
but like, hey, this is the final Deadman Mode. We could like just send it, have a crazy good fight. Like the way they hyped up Bellis, he was like a really good PVMer, like they talked about during the final hour.
Yeah,
and then he was like, you know what? I'm kind of bored of PVMing, and then he became like he spent like a year in the hyperbolic chamber. You know what I mean? Like I'm building a narrative hard right now, and he's like, and then he gets really good at PvP and tri-breeding, and he learns like how to play Deadman Mode really well.
Yeah, he came from nothing, right?
Yeah, well, came from like a huge PVM bank because he's really good at PVM. But a
PvP setting, he started from the bottom.
And then now it's his chance, right?
This is it. This is what he's been working for.
He's like Goku, and he like walks out of the hyperbolic chamber, and it's like he's fighting like, I don't know, like Freezer or like Cell, which is like Manked, and then they're just like, ha, and they just like tickle each other, and then like one of them falls over, and it's like,
they go to fight, and they stop, and they handshake.
Yeah,
let's win together, friends for life. On a way, it's like the fucking Hunger Games, the first one where the girl, whatever, Katniss, and then the dude PETA, the pets animal activist person, all in symbolically one person. Anyways, they're like they gotta kill each other, but they love each other. What are they gonna do? Oh, they both won.
Yeah, you're like, well.
But let's ignore the other two movies and let's pretend that everyone was pissed that they both won.
Yeah.
Because they were cheering for one or the other.
Let's pretend the third book / movie doesn't exist.
Yeah, and let's pretend there's not a fourth book coming out.
Yeah.
So I heard.
Anyways, yeah.
I was disappointed. To me, it felt like a middle finger to the spectator. I know as being in the tournament yourself, you're not there for the spectator, but you have to understand it's the final fight, and it's all for marketing. So for Jagex, they were probably like,
this is it.
Shit.
Like they could have like if they both went like full out and it was some crazy down to the wire, like they could have pushed like a crazy narrative. They could have done like a sick YouTube video and be like the final fight, Deadman Mode. This, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A Viking funeral where it's like we're setting the shit to ashes. Just like go on, you know, fight to the death beforehand. But
kind of a letdown.
We kind of got blue balled, but like. It sucks for spectators, but it also sucks for someone who genuinely like participated and put in like hundreds of hours or like 100+ hours. Well,
lots of hours. Think of the person,
not 100+, but like
the person in the semifinals who wasn't with the clan, right? Was on their own clan or whatever it was. They
or
were
like
probably like, "Are you kidding me? Like that's Why couldn't I have been up there even if I lost?
Yeah, or like
It would've
you're
been
in top
sick.
8. You're that guy. You're the 4 people in top 8 that no one knows about.
Yeah.
Or like top 16 where you're just there and like with a few good hits. You know what I mean? Maybe that splash. He's sitting there doing his exams now.
Yeah.
And he's like, if that barrage hit, I could have killed Bellis, and I would have then. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Like whatever. Like it kind of just they blue balled everyone.
Yeah. It was no good. And honestly, if I think it was any other game, we would have had a different turnout. But I think Jagex has always been kind of we say streamer favoritism, and there is a bit of that, but it's like they're a bit it's almost like they're intimidated to do something, right?
Well, like because they're friends with them.
Yeah, like remember
Like
even when Wooks,
buddies though. Like
Yeah.
like, yo, what up, Ayeza? Said Manked Up Mage as he high fived him and when he entered the bar. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like they're they're all like good buddies. I mean, I'm not saying take away their prize money.
I'm not saying that either, but I'm just like, you can see it just the way they are with some of the streamers. Like when Wooks won, not Wooks won, but when Wooks was
when Wooks won,
yeah, because he was tick eating the gas, and Mod Ash gave him money out of his own pocket, the prize money. In any other game, that would never have happened. They would have been like, no, I get it. We never explicitly said, hey, you can't tick eat the thing. But this is a PvP tournament. So, of course, like you should have known that you're just going to get disqualified for it. Yeah. But, it'd be like in League of Legends. And I don't know if you played League of Legends, but you got to kill the tower in the middle. It'd be like if someone found some bug where he was invincible and he could walk and one hit the tower. He would have they wouldn't be like, oh, well, they won.
Or you're that sand dude on League.
Oh,
all you League nerds are gonna hate me right now.
Yeah.
So it's an A, I think. I don't know. The guy that like summons sand. So anyways,
it's pretty cool. The Pharaoh Egyptian dude.
Yeah, League sucks. I don't know the name. But on release, he could like attack towers without taking damage.
Yeah,
and it'd be like similar to that. And you're like,
they figured out some bug, and then League of Legends or Riot was like, well, we never. That's on our fault. So we shouldn't take away the money from. We have 2 winners this year. You know what I mean? Like, no. Any other game would have been like, okay, clearly you thought of a bug that's gonna do a redo, or you're gonna get like disqualified for exploiting something. So that's the issue there. But you know what? It is what it is. It's Deadman Mode is over and done with.
Yeah, I think that's a big factor too. Where they're like, we don't have to make them refight.
Yeah,
like, let's just throw this in the bin. Let's just let's.
That's very symbolic to what Deadman Mode is, right?
Yeah,
you get all hyped up, and
before I forget, did you hear Mod Ayeza use the term? I believe you coined it, unless you heard it from somewhere else. But the Jad hands.
Oh, I never coined Jad hands.
Oh, you didn't?
No, that's like pretty common term, I think.
The first time I ever heard it was when you said it.
Can I take it?
Yeah. I thought you coined the term.
What do the listeners think? Do you guys think I coined it?
I've only ever heard you call it Jad hands, and then like people in the CC. So I assume they heard it from you.
I don't like. I just remember probably hearing it from Reddit or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Maybe I did.
Because I saw Ayeza talk about getting Jad hands
and Deadman Mode,
and I was like, "Is he a wild boy?"
Ayeza, you there? But yeah, I guess that was the tournament in a nutshell. I guess kind of looking back, like I was just kind of thinking, well, okay, so Mod Ayeza, ex-Mod Ayeza, had asked Ian Spam something along the lines of like, like what are some strategies that a new player might want to do, or someone getting into it? What are some tips you would give them, or something like that? Like if you have, but he used the example of if you have 4 hours to play a day, what should that player be spent doing? And then Ian Spam had said, basically not Deadman Mode because 4 hours a day isn't going to be enough to compete.
Yeah.
And I know when I heard, like, I get what he's saying, and he's like, he's right because people are spending like 20 hours a day.
Yeah, I think he's like taking it as like if you're trying to win.
Yeah. But I know when he had said that, like, especially because this is a way to market it, a lot of people are going to be like, well, shit, 4 hours a day is a lot. And if that's not even enough, then what am I doing? Because Because I know, like, personally, sometimes I only have like an hour or two a day, and that's sometimes I don't even have that, right?
Yeah.
And I recently this week I was trying to get into Path of Exile, a game that you've talked about. It's kind of like Diablo on crack, right? Is that how you'd explain it?
Diablo for nerds.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a huge game, and I was playing it. I was having fun, and I usually when I'm starting to get into a game that's like that big and has like a really big online community, I usually go on the subreddit. I'll make, hey, newbie getting into it. What are some resources I can get into? But I had said like I was a casual gamer. Like what should I don't know. What would you give to a casual gamer and a new player for Path of Exile? And a lot of people made comments on the subreddit saying like, I wouldn't play the game unless you have like at least 4 hours a day to drop into the game. And even still, you're going to want to spend the next couple months researching all these different builds. And even then, you're going to want to just follow someone else's build. Don't try to figure out your own because you're not going to have fun. And obviously, there was also tons of comments that were like, just do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't matter.
Block the subreddit.
But like most people were saying, oh, as a casual gamer, no point in even playing. And if you are going to play it, there's no point in learning the game. Just go listen to some dude who already knows the game. Which I was like, well, if you wouldn't want to tell a new player that because you're instantly going to turn them off from playing it.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of got with the feeling with Deadman Mode. Going forward to a new tournament, it does seem like having a game mode like Deadman Mode probably isn't a good idea.
Well, first of all, if you're ever getting into a new game, don't look at the subreddit. Like, even if you're playing a single player game and you're like having fun, like, don't go to like specific game subreddits. Funny enough, like RuneScape's like the odd game that like it's good. Like I learned pretty quickly, 'cause, you know, I'm playing a new game every week. Don't go to those subreddits. Because it's just people bitching about shit that you didn't realize was annoying, and then it'll start to annoy you. Like, if it's like, man, jumping feels kind of clunky in this game. And you're like, huh? I've never had that experience. And then you kind of think about it, and then you're playing this game, and you're like, huh, jumping is really clunky. And then you fuck up a jump, and you're like, the jumping's so goddamn clunky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, the subreddits for like specific games are typically not good.
But
RuneScape is different though.
When it comes to like a new game mode, new tournament, like they're going to come back with a Deadman Mode 2.0. Do you think they should veer away from the old 4 hours a day is not enough hours to compete?
Well, like the thing is that they were both asking and answering different questions.
True.
Like
okay.
Aiza TV.
Aiza TV.
Was asking if you want to play Deadman Mode as a whole, as like just you want to play it and you only have 4 hours a day, what should someone look at for basic goals? And honestly, the first thing is like, hey, go check out Foe's guide on Deadman Mode, the melee startup from like 2 years ago. It might be outdated because like with quest changes and stuff, but like that was like meta at one point, and like that's how a lot of people get into Deadman Mode. Foe on YouTube. Yeah, Ian was he took that as because he's friends with these streamers. If you're competing against Manked Up Mage and you only play 4 hours a day, you have no chance.
Which
is true, but you don't want to answer like that. Like, I'm no like Deadman connoisseur, but like you'd just be like, hey, yeah, set like these kinds of goals, like play Deadman Mode like for yourself, like
especially it's like I don't think it's hard to make it into the final hour or I don't think it'd be hard to make it into the final
like the tournament
itself, because I know people in our clan chat had done it and they had no
they get alts in and everything, and they
two accounts, and they're just doing it to like exchange gold because it's like legal, right? They allow it, and but they have no like motives to actually try in the 1 hour. They don't even compete sometimes.
They just do it for fun.
But it is super easy. It really comes down to playing safe and getting your total levels up.
Yeah.
It feels like that they should maybe veer away from Deadman Mode. But I also saw another comment, and you mentioning how you can look at Foe's guide and you can still get a basic idea of how to start, even though that was like years ago, or at least seasons ago. I did see a comment on the subreddit about how the big issue with Deadman Mode is they made changes, but there were such small changes that the game never changed. And when you look at like League of Legends, that's one that I played a bunch, but I'm sure Dota, I never played Dota, but I'm sure Dota does similar, where every season they kind of change certain things that are like...
Dota doesn't really do that. Because Dota's better.
Dota. But League of Legends, let's just say.
Yeah.
But they make some huge changes. They take out a bunch of items. They add in new items. They change how these things work. Sometimes they'll change just like a bunch of shit where like suddenly you're playing differently. The meta's changed completely. And I saw a comment saying Deadman Mode never really did that. Like, you could have done that by like, we're removing ancient magics this season.
Yeah.
Or we're capping magic at level 50.
Hey, shout out to people who listen to the early episodes, because this is my main thing to keep Deadman Mode alive, is that you need major changes per season to keep everyone on their toes and keep it fun.
Yeah, and I'd totally agree. Like, you could do something where it's like, hey, we're taking out Slayer. Like, that's huge, right?
Yeah.
Like, you do things like that where people are like, what? Now no one can use a whip? Well, it's like there's other things people can use, and that'll make it interesting.
Yeah.
Suddenly melee is obsolete. You know, or like we're removing, I don't know, range is now capped at level 70. That changes so much. Your HP capped at this level. You know what I mean? Like all these certain things. We're taking out prayer this season, right? That would change the final hour would be completely different for the viewer as well.
Yeah, the changes they've made were streamlined changes where these quests complete at this time.
Yeah.
And this is done for you, and this
double drop rates for these.
Yeah,
monsters.
like they just made the process less grindy, or they needed to do meta changes. And like my only argument against like for League, they do that because like Riot Games like sets the meta.
Yeah,
like in the beginning, the meta was made by the players. Riot was like, we like this, and they very much created the game around a meta that was set years ago, and they pushed the game into one play style, and then from there, that's why they do their major changes, so people don't get burnt out. But and they don't do that in Dota because Dota's better, and there's a lot. I just want to say Dota's better, but there's like way more. The meta is way more open.
Yeah. Okay.
And with Jagex, it's like the players set the meta. And then when it's too much, then they nerf some Varak Vengeance.
Yeah.
That was like overwhelming once it got discovered. But like as a whole, they should have always looked at like, even if it's bad, change this, like no barrows. Rune armor's the best armor. Free to play only. Yeah. Like, imagine a Deadman Mode that was free to play only.
And I don't think it would ever be, quote unquote, a bad season. It would just be different, right?
I mean, it would be pretty bad because prayers and people wouldn't die.
Yeah.
But, like, if they, like, or at least limited free to play items, not spells, but items, right? Yeah. Like, I'm not, like, saying that, like, hey, let's have another season and just take Deacon's ideas that he's just kind of throwing out there, but maybe they should. No, but, like.
But have a board meeting, be like, what do you guys think? Should we make it so that Magic can only get to level 70 this season, and maybe this season we're going to have defense can't go past 20?
Yeah.
Like, those are major changes, but not bad because everyone's kind of like still on the same playing field.
Yeah. The one thing that I would then, like, I think I referenced it last episode, but I would like think what makes Deadman is that, like, ideally, what you wanted out of the game mode was that day one, like, oh, the final hour's done, everyone jumps on, and if you're a casual player, you have an idea of, like, I want to do a range-based build.
Yeah.
And let's say, like, you're me, and it's literally happened, but I was like, my goal is to get an Ava's Accumulator ASAP, and then train range until like X level, get these stats, and then go get ancients. And the first day I was doing really well. The second day, once everyone had ancients though, I had range, I was able to like fight people, kill them. It was really good. You know, my plan was working. But then day 2, I noticed like a flaw in like the plan that like my strategy that I built.
Yeah.
Which was, it wasn't the hours I played. It was, I was doing things inefficiently where I could have like gotten my prayer up a little bit faster, done this quest instead, blah, 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 blah. Because now at this point, I have to go to Canifis and do these quests, but people have ancients and they get bank keys and now they're camping people doing these quests, right? And that's where, and I was like, okay, that sucks. So this season, like my day 1 grind stopped here, which kind of goes like the PoE thing where like if you're learning PoE, you'll hit walls or like whatever, where you get stuck at certain things. But the whole fun of like Deadman Mode is that like now for next time you can change your plan a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You can like hone your plan or your idea. You can theory craft and do all this stuff. And then when the race begins, see how much progress you made before you hit the wall, or like maybe you were like past that bottleneck where all the players are dying and quitting. Mm-hmm. Because someone's killing them. Maybe you're good enough and you planned accordingly and you're going to PKer that you're the guy making people quit.
Yeah.
And I think that's what everyone wanted in Deadman Mode. But due to how just the way the seasons and stuff work, even time zones, even timing, where like, I think it's weird to do on a Saturday instead of like a Friday night, or because you have like less time on the weekend. Does that make sense?
I think so. I think the problem is that it being over in the UK, right? The hour timing, where like if they did it on a Friday, I'm going to be at work. You know, many people in North America, it's going to be midday for them, right?
Yeah, I guess time zones would be different. Yeah, maybe if you're in the UK, that's not an issue at all. But they could have like answered the question in like a way better way, as opposed to like, no, you can't do it. It's like, well, it's just like, what mindset do you have?
Yeah.
And like, if you're just like the people that are there to kill people in Deadman Mode, and that like, oh, I just play to kill people, like they're not really gonna enjoy it, because like if you're only playing 4 hours a day, you don't really, you're not the most like, you know, the most game knowledge. It's not only 4 hours a day. If you don't have like if you haven't theory crafted like an idea of like how you're gonna do it, or copy like some people, then it just won't work. But like,
I just think the changes need to be made to make it fresh, so that it's not stale for the spectators on the final hour, right?
Yeah, so
you take out magic, and then it's like a whole different ball game, you know, for both the player and also the viewer. You know, not just watching, you know, the same sort of tournament every time, but
because the tournaments will always be fun to a certain extent.
Yeah,
as long as like I still feel like the PvP weapons were like not healthy for the game.
But see, that was not even that big of a change, but it was at least
a huge change.
It was a change though, and I was glad to see that.
I think you're downplaying it.
To me, like watching the final, it didn't seem as big of a change, I guess.
So
well,
like,
I guess it did, but it's just, I don't know.
Zuriel's staff like allowed people to get freezes on people in like full armor and
fair enough,
protection, right?
But see, that was a change that actually made it more interesting. But the problem is they changed it, and then they were like,
well, like
back to small changes.
Well,
again.
like it made the 1v1 bracket more interesting, which is good. But if you watch what happens, it's like every monster in the wilderness just gets camped.
Yeah,
and
like, still, like you got to do these big changes, right? That's what we're talking about. Like that was like the biggest change they did, and it was something new. Who knows what they're gonna come back with? I could see them sticking to just PvP tournaments like they plan on doing, right? The 1v1s, the
I think the
5v5s.
one thing that prevented them from doing major changes like that, though, is that there were so many issues in the final hour every single season.
And I just think that even even with the new weapons being dropped, how like you said it like was bad for the game. Well, doing these big changes would definitely have some seasons where people were like, "Well, this is shit," and then it might cause it to die. So they were like trying to be safe with it, which is they didn't take any chances, which caused it to kind of stale out quicker.
But I mean, like production wise, like all the like drama that happens, like there's always some big fuck up by like them. If I bet you if they ran smoothly every time, but they were kind of just stale, then it would have been like maybe they would have been more open to like major season changes.
Yeah, they only had like 3 tops that were flawless tournaments, right?
Yeah.
And even then, those people were nitpicking at something, you know. Well, anyways, regardless, congrats to Blazers for winning the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we still have the PvP tournaments. They said that they're going to be doing more often, so looks like we'll have those to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deadman will come back, but it's going to come back better than ever,
actually,
different and stronger.
There is one point to interrupt you on there, sorry. It's not that Deadman isn't gone forever. Deadman still exists. Don't forget that World 45 does exist, which is the permanent Deadman world, which anyone with a membership can access. I believe like it was only a few months ago that there was a big round of changes that got added to the World 45 Deadman. So we've got like the Grand Exchange. It's a lot more favourable now in terms of new players joining, in terms of like an immunity period, XP rates, XP loss has been changed as well. So definitely go and check that out if you are interested in Deadman, if you are interested in getting involved in PvP.
So you can trust that when Deadman comes back, it may be with a different name.
I can't wait.
Who knows, different face completely. You might not even recognize it as Deadman, but it's going to be different and it's going to be better.
All right, now on to the doozy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Although Deadman Mode, I don't think it ain't got shit on this.
Partnerships and old school. So keep in mind, at the time of recording, there's a changelog.
Yeah, that just got dabbled in there. So let's go through the original blog, and then we'll talk about what they just trickled in at the end.
They start off with this little blog, this poll blog, saying how old school, it's mainly a subscription-only game. I mean, there's bonds, but...
That is tied into the subscription, right?
Yeah, but, there is still microtransaction. But, yeah, it's pretty much they say resolutely, a subscription-only game. And this means that they're committed to keeping us happy and attracting new players, to doing everything we can. And they do everything they can to make sure that, the new players enjoy themselves and they subscribe because that's where all their revenue comes from. And all that stuff, they really do care about the new player experience. And they talk about how games in their position can go about attracting new players alongside striving to make the game better itself, right?
Well, yeah, they kind of go hand in hand, right?
Yeah. So some of the options are new platforms, territories, and languages.
So this could be like, we're releasing RuneScape onto mobile.
Yeah.
Or Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah. Or, just other languages, so it's not like you have to speak English or be fluent.
We saw that back in 2007 when they came out with the German worlds and everything was translated into German.
Mm-hmm.
All the text and stuff, which we have German worlds now, but they're just server based.
Yep. And then they also mentioned partners in terms of player base, they've gone to mobile and that's been pretty successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've translated into other languages, or the translation of other languages, and they are discussing doing this or being more active, I guess, for old school.
Yeah, so they're trying to figure out, is it worth translating to French or something, right?
Yeah. Do we even want Quebecois playing?
So that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. And then partners. So as the game grows, so does the list of companies who want to work with us. Good example is Twitch and Twitch Prime. We talked about this last year when they offered the purple skin.
Yeah, that was a partnership.
Yeah.
It was at the time a temporary partnership, but that's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to definitely bring this up again, but if you don't know, and they do this with subscribe with subscribe to the RuneScape channel and boom, get a free month or free 14 days of membership, right?
Well, it was just an offer being claimed. So if you had Twitch Prime, you would get notified on Twitch, and you could go and claim your prize. You could link your Twitch Prime account to your RuneScape account, and then you could just claim the skin, and then you get stuff from RuneScape 3 as well.
So that was a subtle partnership, though, because it caused me to link my 2 accounts and activate my Twitch Prime account and actually use Twitch where I would never use Twitch before. So now I'm creating my Twitch account just so I can subscribe and get my free 14 days. It's like RuneScape wins, Twitch wins.
Yeah. Well, you don't subscribe. Like, I guess you could subscribe to like Twitch Prime, but yeah, you get like the free membership. Yeah, they have that, but
it was a sort of partnerships, right? That's how they work.
Mm-hmm. They want to go the route with like more partnerships. They want to look at some more partnerships. Pretty much, they talk about what we just mentioned: the purple skin, the free months membership,
and both sides saw it being hugely successful.
Yep.
And the way Jagex sees it is it benefits both us, the partners, and also benefits the players by contributing to the health of the game, which allows us to invest in the changes that you prioritize. So that's their excuse on why maybe we would want partnerships, right? It's going to help the player base a bit.
Yeah. So a lot of people were wondering why even add a cosmetic, and they did it because the more we offer, the greater engagement or encouragement for Twitch and other partners to promote the game, which is the biggest thing, right? Because there's a lot of games they have heavy partners, or they are heavily partnered with Twitch, like Warframe.
Yeah, you can click your little notification thing, and it's just a list.
Yeah, Activision has plenty of games, like Fortnite, they all do it. And so the main thing is that other people that are activating their games will see Old School or RuneScape 3, and they go like, oh, no way, I got a free month. And then like, okay, I might as well just make an account, link it. Okay, dope.
And then Twitch is like, hey, we got another user using our platform.
Yeah.
If only temporary, but I bet you some of them will stay.
And Jeff Bezos is like, hey, Amazon Prime, baby.
Yeah, another $3 in my pocket. Need it.
Yeah. So more importantly, though, they want to give us the choice of how they proceed. They want to pull content that we think fits, and we decide what gets added. So they don't want any of us to worry that free cosmetics are like in any way a step to introducing microtransactions, which when they first did this, we were very skeptical.
Yeah, we were worried that this would just snowball into more partnerships, which would snowball to MTX. Now, it's important to say they don't want us to worry that this would be a step towards microtransactions. I mean, it still might be a step towards microtransactions, but they don't want us to worry. They want us to just keep playing and then not worry about it until it's here.
Yeah, they say
that might not be true, but
they say everyone at Jagex, including the CEO himself, is in agreement that we will not add any microtransactions to Old School RuneScape.
Okay.
And they understand that doing so would completely contradict the spirit of what makes Old School a success.
And I do believe they feel that way.
Well, they promise that any additions offered through partnerships will not be exclusive and will be available for all members, at
a later day. So it's early access for the people who partner up.
Yep. Any additions that we offer will be made according to the art style of Old School and will truly fit the game's theme. That is a little bit of an issue for me because I like to complain about where the art style is heading. So what does that mean? But
the theme of RuneScape is definitely stretched.
It's not Gnome Child anymore. You don't like when they're adding a new NPC, you don't think of like an old school character like look at like Konar and stuff, sure. Right? Any additions we offer will not impact your playing experience.
I think that's a bit ignorant for them to say that because they're just saying cosmetics does not hinder your playing experience, but some fashionscape is huge, right? People love that shit, so whatever.
Yeah. You'll be polled on what additions are offered, and any additions we offer will purely be cosmetic to give us a taste on what they're pondering, what they want to do. They want to add skin colors, new emotes, POH styles, alternative home teleports, and they have a list of ideas right now that are being polled. Don't be alarmed by the length of the list. It doesn't mean we're going to just flood the game with a bunch of things. They just want to know what we want, and then now they have a backlog of things they can work on, and maybe over the course of like X amount of time, which they don't really give a general time, but they say like they'll have a nice backlog of what they can at least show other partners.
Okay, I just want to say though, I truly don't think that they have any intentions to bring microtransactions at this point. We'll get into it in a bit more, but if a microtransaction store were to arrive into old school RuneScape, what were the first things you'd expect them to have? Skin colors, new emotes, and different teleport animations. Those are like the three big ones I could picture being in it. That's what happened with Destiny. That's what happens in like tons of games. Fortnite, League of Legends, right?
Well, Fortnite's not pay to win.
I don't know. I don't even play Fortnite. But the point is like the microtransaction, we could always still keep it at cosmetics. It would still be bad for the game.
In general, I
think it would be bad for us as the players who don't want to participate in the microtransactions.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with microtransactions at all, even with like cosmetics. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't. Okay, as a whole, for RuneScape, because those are two very different conversations.
Yeah, you are right. Like League of Legends had a decent model, and I say had because then they brought out loot boxes, which is very bad and predatory. And a lot of people, well, I never spent money on League of Legends, and now I'm getting free things.
I have a buddy who said, "Dude, I only spent $500 on this Soul Stealer vein. Yeah. I know guys that spend $3,000."
Are we talking about the same buddy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We both know a friend who dropped hundreds of dollars on these loot boxes.
Literally 500, he told me, just for one skin.
Yeah.
That's also like that's a personal issue. Like it's like an addiction type. Like I want this,
but that's what the loot boxes are there for.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? So yeah, when they give the examples of skin colors, new emotes, player-owned house designs, alternative home teleports, that's the exact type of things that I would see in the first installment of a microtransaction store. They're safe. They're safe things to bring in where a lot of people will be like, well, I don't really care about getting a new emote. I don't really care about getting this skin design. Those are like the first steps that I believe happen when it comes to introducing microtransactions.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's literally how they do it.
Because those are the safest ways to do it where people are going to complain the least amount. You know what I mean? Reverse, you bring like a new decorative sword you have to pay money for. Then people are going to be like, yo, what the fuck? Emotes, not so much. People don't care as much.
They do a little changelog. They do revise. They kind of walk back a little bit because the community kind of freaked out when they saw this.
I would say rightfully so.
Yeah. Some people felt like we were not explicit enough about how this content would be offered. And a few even interpreted this as an attempt to mislead players. Well, that's just like a Reddit circle jerk and Twitter meltdowns that were kind of fun to look at. But this is certainly never our intention, and we have at all times tried to be transparent, and these details are always going to be expressed clearly in the poll. But to reassure you all, we've edited the individual questions to include content that was previously only found elsewhere in the blog. Many of you have stressed that cosmetics are an important way of demonstrating your in-game accomplishments. We get it. We agree. Clear explanation of the choices we've made can be found in the poll question section. This is why they're actually descriptive in the 23 questions we get to quickly rifle off, because it's all pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. So read the first one. Because I did have a gripe on even the way they kind of did the questions. I felt maybe they weren't trying to be misleading, but to me, I did see it as like, whoa, those bastards just snuck that in there.
Yeah.
So read the first question and maybe you'll get what I'm talking about.
Should we add a new player-owned house? Should we add a new POH house-style decoration themed on the Mauritania region? It would be added as described in the blog. First released the partnership before being released to all players at a later date.
So my problem with the wording with that, because I'm first reading that, I'm like, yeah, you can add that new themed, and then when it goes first release with partnerships, and I go like, wait, no, hell no. Instantly just clicked no on every question because they all have that.
Well, yeah, like it'd be how like the Twitch thing worked, where you got the purple skin, and then eventually around at Halloween, everyone just got the purple skin. I think it was.
But I was talking with people in the clan chat as well, who were like going through the poll, clicking like yeses on things, and then I had said like why I had voted no was because they dropped in the first release with a partnership, like early access to whatever partnership they have.
Yeah.
And other people were like, "Oh shit, I didn't even notice that." And it did change. It did like change people's opinions when they went back and fully read the thing. 23 questions is a lot. Some people might just try to rating. Oh, I get the gist of it. Boom. You know what I mean? Which
Well, they don't specify how long it would be, but if like with the Twitch Prime purple skin, it was around this time of year. It was during the summer, and
was
then
it? I thought it was like September.
I thought it was like August-ish.
Oh, maybe.
But it doesn't matter. But then
that was a whole year ago.
Yeah, and
Time
then
flying.
around Halloween, it became available to everyone, right?
Yeah.
So a couple months afterwards.
I mean, there's problems there, but whatever. Kind of tame, right? But what if instead this wasn't going to come out with the Halloween event? Let's just use the Mauritania player-owned house design.
Mm-hmm.
What if it we'll use Twitch again. You get it free on Twitch if you subscribe, or don't and wait. And then when it comes out 2 months later, but next thing you know, you have to pay like $100K to get it. That could happen. And I don't think that's crazy to believe that it wouldn't be that way.
I think it would be like a free thing. I think it would be linked to do your Halloween event and you'll get this.
Well, maybe for this one, but I could see some of these designs as we go through it being not linked to any event and being something, oh, well, you can purchase it for $200K. Purchase it for like a small amount, but enough where it's like, really? Come on. All I'm saying is like they could do that because they're not saying like they would.
Conspiracy music cued?
Well, let's go through the questions and then we'll cue it.
Okay.
There's,
they're gonna like. There's 23 questions, but they're all like most of them are worded the same. So we'll like rip through them. So I'll repeat the first one, and they'll just swap out all the styles. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
lightning
like
round.
10 different.
I don't want to read. I don't want to be reading for like 20 minutes. I can barely read in general.
Audiobooks. Audibletrial.com/wild.
Yeah, exactly. So. Should we add a new player or a new... Let me say it again. Poll question 1. Should we add a new POH house style decoration themed in the Mauritania region? It would be added as described in the blog, first released to partnership, before being released to all players at a later date. They have... So the Mauritania, they have a Dorgashan Khan, which is like the cave goblin city. They have Arceus house. They have the area of the Mount Karulm, an Elven City type style of Prifdinez, and Lieta.
Yeah.
Lieta.
That's a whole separate.
Yeah, that's a separate one. A wilderness theme.
The podcast? No, that doesn't make sense.
Just microphones everywhere. And like a soapbox with like an NPC bitching on it.
Yeah, town crier.
Yeah, he's hung though.
Dead. They're trying to send a message. Yeah. Shut your shit down.
So this one, so we're at question 8 now. That's pretty quick. Should we add a Saradomin themed home teleport animation that draws a holy symbol on the floor and has you open a holy book? It would be added as described in the blog. First release of the partnership, then released to all players at a later date. So we have the Saradomin, the Guthix theme, the Zami theme, the Zaros, the Saren, Armadillo, Bandos.
And I think those are cool. That's a cool idea.
Yeah. We have one where there would be a ring that would form around your head and see your character lifted up, similar to the 2008 rework of the Lunar Teleport spell. Should we add the Trick emote, similar to the emote added to RuneScape with the 2008 Halloween event? An Explore emote from the 2008 era? The Freeze emote from the 2008 Christmas event? Dramatic Point emote from the 2009 Christmas event? Orange skin? Gray skin? Red skin? Yellow? And that is all of them. Look at that. Efficient.
Yeah, nice. Good stuff. So, and then they're all to do with the partnerships, early access for partnerships, and it would come later on for members. And I like a lot of these. The skin colors, I don't know. But whatever. Simpsons characters, you're getting a little I don't know, too much for me there. But anyways, a lot of these I do think are cool. I'd be totally cool with bringing them in the game somehow. For me, partnerships is like kind of where I draw the line. I'd rather not have these in the game at all than have them come with partnerships.
Yeah. So I don't like having silly skin colors, to be honest.
I liked the white and the black, but I found the purple, the teal or cyan.
Well, like the zombie skin, I could, I can fuck with that because it's like the old zombie.
Yeah, okay.
Purple, no. And like, yeah, the black and white, like I'm down, but I don't want to see like a whole color palette just because it like
silly.
You play Dark Souls, you make a real like if you play Dark Souls and you can make a really dumb looking character, who hasn't made a tomato head or like a Shrek when you're playing Dark Souls? Like you can make like the most like, and you do it because it's silly.
Yeah.
But then everyone does it in old school, and you see dudes in like football Easter egg gear with yellow skin or like Simpson cosplay, and you're like, it's funny, but everyone does it, so now it's obnoxious.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like one thing that's cool about RuneScape is like clearly a big focus of like fantasy on the game, but you still feel like it's like a medieval game. You don't feel like your person it's not like World of Warcraft where you're an orc or you're a troll. You know what I mean? Like RuneScape, you're just a human. You start fucking with skin colors though, and it's like I guess you got jaundice.
Yeah, it looks like, I don't know, it just like it makes it look really silly.
Yeah.
With like home teleports and all that, I do like that.
Yeah.
Because it adds like nice flair to your character, and same with like the POH stuff. But this is where if we don't have conspiracy music cued.
Okay, here we go. I've been waiting for this moment. I'm so glad they came out with this blog just because we could play this.
Yeah. So it's really funny how. So this is like my take on it, I guess. So we don't want free cosmetics.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want like any form of like microtransaction. We want to like earn it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's really funny how it starts off, and like I guess the main issue is like you kind of mentioned it before with like a POH. Well, like what happens in a year from now when they add like the Mortania area, but you got to pay money for it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
but then hey, all these guys got it for free because they, I don't know, Twitch Prime, right?
Sure.
So I find how that is an issue, but if it was free, that's also an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I agree.
Like they even do a changelog to like express this, but like it's kind of like the players want this to be a thing that like you can get it for free now if you do the partnership stuff, but if you don't, you have to earn it.
Yeah.
That's kind of,
people want to earn it. Treasure trails have the coolest uniques or the cosmetics, but some of them are super rare to get.
But do you see like what narrative is being built right now?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is, so beforehand it was going to be free, and like, yeah, it's free, whatever, cool. The skin coloring, you got to pay like $1,000. Who cares, right?
Sure.
And then now with this stuff, where like you could like if they just introduce like, yeah, after you unlock a Zamorak book, you could pay $1 million to like some dude, use your unholy book, and now you can get the Zammy home teleport, right?
Makes sense.
If they just added that, right?
Yeah, people would be totally down for that, right?
Yeah, but if it gets added into the game as a partnership, that's how it would happen.
It would be free. Yeah, free for them. Right.
But now they have an excuse to make you pay later on down the road.
Well, yeah, that's totally true. Yeah, you're right.
Because like everyone's freaking out, being like, we want to. Hey guys, we take into consideration you want to earn these. You want to earn these, but we're gonna pull them and still be partnership related items. But we understand you want to earn them in the end.
Because it's not gonna work as a partnership if you also have to. I have early access to it, but I still need to drop 10 mil on this thing, or I need to drop 1 mil on this Zamorak teleport. Like that wouldn't work out for the partnership because it's just like not many. Well, I don't have 1 mil, so I'm not even going to use the partnership.
If you want to like go down another layer and just like blanket another unsynced conspiracy music, so now we have 2 non-simultaneous conspiracy.
Well, I'll do it for
music.
a second. I don't know if that's going to sound good.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. But I mean, like with the aftermath and like the complaints about this, they could literally do it because if it gets passed and be like, hey, you wanted it passed. You guys expressed, like, you know what I mean? It's like the community's just like shooting themselves in the foot on what they're focusing on, which is like earning it. It's not that like the cosmetics we get are through partnerships. Are there other ways to do partnerships that work for old school? Even
Are
if
you
they're
asking me?
Yeah, even if they're like fun events or something, like. Because right now it's a lose-lose.
I can't really think of any that could they're all could potentially lead to worse things. That's the problem. Like that whole Twitch skin when we talked about it a year ago, it wasn't a big deal having that. I don't think it was a problem at all. But the worry was that it would snowball into something else. Boom! This is what I was worried about. I'm not. Yeah, this shit sucks. But the bigger problem is also what's next as well.
Well, the first thing that was RuneFest. We get the cow kick teleport.
Yeah, and then the shield emotes.
Yeah, those are the first ones that were like RuneScape promoting itself, and then you get it for free. So that doesn't matter.
No, because you can still go back, type in the RuneFest code, and get it yourself.
So,
yeah,
if the alternative is free, like okay, it'll either one. You gotta like pay a bunch of money or do whatever and earn these down the road or get it for free.
Yeah.
Or you just type in a code and now you can have like a bunch, like, you know, in a couple of years from now, a bunch of free POH designs.
Yeah, you type in Twitch 1 and you get Mauritania skin.
Which like
Twitch 2. You know,
Arceus house.
Yeah.
Which takes like it literally devalues any style to a POH because like the defaults will like, I mean, I just use like, you know what I mean? I would just change a theme to whatever free one's better than the default. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
yeah, definitely. Because like I've dropped money on some of the ones that cost money to change your like wall patterns and stuff. It's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
It can be goddamn expensive.
So if it's free, then
are they going to make it work?
Do it?
They're going to make it look worse than what we already have?
They're going to make them look nice.
They're going to look.
They're going to be over designed because all the art coming in is, in my opinion, over designed.
Yeah,
which can be okay. I've made that argument a lot of times. In some scenarios, having over designed things is okay, like some equipment, but having standstill, like POH stuff. Bosses, whatever. That's where like my issue is. And if you get free over designed art styles, it starts to be bad. Even with like a home teleport that like is over designed because it's not going to be like whoop whoop. Here's the shitty Zamrock symbol, and then you sit down. It's going to be like. You cast a fire thing at your feet and like a W or like the symbol and then like flames. You sit down and flames over. You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna make it like look cool, probably.
So you got to think though, the partnership. It has to like the first focus they're gonna do is make us want it, so that the partnership, so that we want to go on Twitch and get it early.
Well, like
so they have to make it cool enough. So yeah, they're gonna make you do something neat, like shoot a fire flame on the ground, fire flame.
But like the Twitch partnership stuff is like one thing, but like what other companies are they going to want to be working with? What like this? Like we use Twitch because like Twitch does crazy partnerships, but they still do like RuneScape 3 partnerships. If we just like,
and I do want to just go back to when you're saying like having all these codes you type in to get free cosmetics, like the player own house designed and like the skin colors.
You can find them on the Wikipedia, by the way.
What's that? The codes?
Yeah,
for sure. But like, if you ever go play RuneScape 3, the first thing you walk into, you're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. There's just so much going on right now.
I mean, you can see some ridiculous looking people.
But the same thing is going to happen with this, especially when you don't have to earn it, because level 3 can just walk in and boom, type this code in, and now he can look kind of wacky for whatever reason, right?
And the main thing is like I don't know at this point if old school is trying to cater towards bringing in old players or if they need to bring in new players.
But then and that's another thing I want to ask. So I don't want to like start jumping around too much, but like, yeah, who are you going to partner up with to bring in a new audience? I could see maybe like China, like different countries that might not be exposed to RuneScape, but for the most part, our age demographic, and if you're a gamer, you know what RuneScape is.
Yeah, even if you like are some of my buddies that are playing it and you're like, I don't remember anything. It's like a whole new game, but I do remember it being a thing when I was in elementary school.
Yeah, everyone knows it. It's what Minecraft is now, or what Fortnite is now to like the kids.
Yeah, and a couple of years from now, like Fortnite will be like, I never really played it. Oh, but I know it's back? Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the next question. Do they want to start bringing in the Fortnite crowd? Right? That's a huge demographic of players that have no idea what RuneScape is. I remember a few years back, I was playing it and I was talking to someone. I found out that they were like 14 years old. And I was like, what the fuck? How the hell why are you playing this game? How did you figure this out?
Son, I've been playing a video game since before you were born.
Oh, God. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it was weird. And I was like, talking, like, how did you find it? And he's like, oh, I just saw it on Twitch, or he saw some YouTube video, and he tried RuneScape 3 first. Didn't like it. People were like, try old school RuneScape, and that's how he found it. But is that what they're trying to tap into, the players, that RuneScape is like the grandfather of MMOs? You know what I mean? The kids, it's like, I don't know what this game is.
Yeah.
A lot of people play it because it's, yeah. In which case, like, that I don't want to sound elitist or gatekeeping, but that could be a problem, right? If you tap into like Fortnite and like,
well, it's only a problem if you're against cosmetics as a concept.
Yeah.
Because like the one thing is that like, so I brought up before, like, are we going to talk about specifically RuneScape or games in general? Because they're two different conversations. Mainly one, RuneScape. Like, I'll always think of RuneScape in a nostalgic way.
Yeah, definitely.
So, cosmetics, I'm just against because it...
Cosmetics in general.
Yeah.
So even would you say like the new treasure trail items, or...
No, I mean like the skin colors.
Oh, okay,
That's why it's like my biggest gripe.
Yeah.
If we're talking about like microtransactions for cosmetics as a whole, it's not really a big deal for games in general, because like we talk about PoE all the time. Jesus, we should transition to a PoE podcast. But like they have a lot of microtransactions. Some of it actually does affect the base game, but in the economy type thing where you can like buy and sell and like more efficiently and whatever. But the main thing is that they have like cosmetic packs where you can have your dude look cool, right?
Yeah.
And that is like, that's fine, but they're always trying to get new players because there's not like the game isn't a bazillion years old. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like what? How old is RuneScape? 18?
19.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to count from when it was it Devious Mud? 1998, I think, is when it started in development.
Yeah.
But I usually 2001.
Yeah. So it kind of depends. If Jagex is focusing on bringing in, like, harping on that nostalgia crowd and then getting them addicted, or like looking to like tap into the new player base that's like getting into gaming.
Yeah.
Like it's like two different conversations on what they're wanting to do with cosmetics.
And so the reason I'm really against cosmetics, microtransactions almost in general, even cosmetics, is because they become very predatory. It also gives them incentive to focus on other things that aren't going to benefit the regular player. Like, sure, Theater of Blood. I mean, the Inferno is a better example. They focus a lot of dev time on the Inferno. A lot of players aren't ever going to try it, so it doesn't really benefit them. But they could, right? They could get there if they wanted to. Now, microtransactions, it's like super predatory because even for myself, like, and I guarantee tons of people who play RuneScape are like this. But when I was playing League of Legends, which is arguably, they did it at first, they had a really good method of having a payment model, right? Mm-hmm. It was a free game, and you could spend real life money on skins for your character that all that did was make it look a little bit different. But just like how we had that one friend who dropped $500 on loot boxes because he had to have this elite skin, this super rare skin, they also have skins that they would release that were like, you have a week to buy this, and then it's gone for who knows how long. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are like, oh shit, I don't have the money right now, but I need this skin because I want to have this skin. It's a legacy skin, and people might not ever be able to get it again, and I want to be a person who has it. I know for myself, there's a champion named Shen, doesn't matter, but he had this cool skin that made him look like Scorpio from Mortal Kombat. Mm-hmm. Is it Scorpio or Scorpion? It's been a while since I played Mortal Kombat, I don't remember, but...
I've always called him Scorpion, but...
Okay, anyways, Scorpio, I don't know, but they had a skin that made him look like that, but they took it away after a few days. And I was like, oh man, I really want that skin. And I messaged Riot being like, is there any way I could purchase this skin? Like, I'll drop $20 on this skin. I really want this skin. It looks cool. And I can't have it, which makes me want it even more. Mm-hmm. They were like, nope, you gotta wait. Well, like a year later, they finally brought it out. And I was like, gotta have this skin. Boom, purchased it right away, right?
Yeah. Well, like, the main thing that, like, for cosmetics is, like, the exclusivity.
Yeah.
So the reason why Fortnite makes so much money is because their skin system is 100% based on being exclusive and the feeling of like missing out.
Yeah.
Even with emotes, you look at their microtransaction shop, and it's just a timer with a bunch of shit on it, and then you don't know if it's ever coming back because it's a cycle. Mm-hmm. You can't even look at like this was up, this is coming up. Like it's just like boom, boom, and like it just kind of changes, and you pick them up. And there was instances where like I don't know what the event was, but Fortnite had an event in their game that you could attend in game. It was like a concert.
Okay.
And obviously it's like pre-recorded, but they were trying to pretend it was live. It was really weird.
That's fun.
I saw like a someone like was there and recorded like the video of the concert, but the dude who was hosting the concert, whatever musician, well, his name was Marshmallow. There's this weird conspiracy. Oddly enough, I found out like yesterday.
Marshmallow concert. What?
Yesterday, I found out about this weird conspiracy on Reddit on how Marshmallow, the actual person, doesn't know anything about music and isn't actually a musician, with like a lot of evidence. But anyways, during the concert, he will be like, everyone, do this emote. And then you'd see everyone who has the emote, like, do the emote, and you're sitting there feeling left out that you can't like join in. And hey, I love Marshmallow, that FRINDS, you know that song?
No, I don't.
It's a really poppy whatever.
I only know him because I like work for this pop station at my school, and I'm see his name pop up all the time, and I'm just like, dude, like you're like a Dead Mouse ripoff.
Well, he's not even a musician, literally.
He's a producer, no?
I don't know, but
I'm pretty sure he does what Dead Mouse does, where he like makes beats.
I would consider. Well, no, he doesn't do that though.
What?
There's a really weird conspiracy, and there's like a lot of evidence that like he. I don't.
Bonus episode.
It's a bonus episode. There's a lot of evidence that he like just buys or like uses royalty free music.
Oh, you can buy like. Okay, no mean to get off topic right now, but we're going to for a second. But sorry, when I'm working, I'm like, I have a lot of downtime, so I'm like looking up like sound effects for radio because you know, like the you're listening to the Wilderness Pod. Like I'm looking at stuff like that. Like, how do you even own this stuff? And there's all these sites that sell it, but then I start getting ads on Facebook where you can get voice tracks, and you get these like the samples of like a beat and a sample of like a keyboard riff thingy. And I'm like listening to them. I'm like, I could just take the sound, the voice track, because it's like 2 minutes long. Mm-hmm. I could take the beat. I could take the synthesizer. I have my song.
It's what that's part of the conspiracy of what he does.
Shit.
That, and also he doesn't know any music theory. There's a bunch of shit. Anyways, back on topic.
Oh, I'm interested though.
Yeah, back on topic.
Fortnite concert. Everyone does the emote when Marshmallow says it.
But that's the whole thing, right?
And if you don't have it, people are gonna be like, "Look at this fucking loser."
But this is so. I only bring up like the whole concept of like cosmetic. You know, it's super successful when it's an exclusive type thing.
Yeah. Look at party hats.
Look at the history of RuneScape. So
they're worth so much because you can't get them.
Well, from like the history of RuneScape, how many times did you log in when you didn't play RuneScape because it was Christmas time, and you're like, "Oh yeah, RuneScape. I might play that game in a couple of years. I want to get the cosmetic for this year. I want to miss out." That's like literally what kept me on like tethered to this game. Was like when I was a kid, like every Christmas and like Easter, there was like this random voice. I'm at school, like, Easter's in a week. There's a RuneScape event. You probably want to do that because if you ever get back into it, you want to have those the cosmetics.
Party hats and shit were super valuable. Everyone wanted it. But if you saw a player with the bunny ears or the scythe, you were like, that that is an account that I can't even get that anymore, but I want that account just so I can have the scythe.
Yeah. And it's like they kind of threw that away, that concept with old school, which they probably really, really regret because they've talked about bringing it back.
Yeah.
You see it with the player base where from like the shitty polling they do, so not the very, very unofficial polling that gets done, people want a completionist cape. People want PVM capes for certain bosses. Like, people want exclusive stuff. People want to get 200 mil mining, and then they don't want anyone to ever mine. And for every iron for every iron ore you mine, you're devaluing his exclusive achievement. Like old school player or RuneScape players in general, like they get wet dreams over exclusive items. Like, we talked about it, like, was it this episode or last episode with the unknown key? And you're like, man, I wish I had that.
Because people love that shit. I me included. You know what I mean? But I understand that as much as I'd want, like, because I play the game so much, as much as I would love for someone to log in and be like, "Yo, Dills, how did you get that white skin? It looks super sick." And I'm like, can't get it anymore. It would make, like, probably boost my ego a bit.
Yeah.
But I understand that that's terrible for the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's great for the person who has it, but for all the other people who don't, that's a huge kick in the nuts.
Yeah. So, like, they did away with it, which kind of points me to the direction that they don't really harp on nostalgia anymore, and they haven't been for a while.
Yeah, no, nostalgia wears off quick.
So, and with the new player bases that come out, like, cosmetics won't turn off someone who's never played old school.
Okay, yeah.
And if they're exclusive, it might make them want to stay and, like, tough out the, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but, like, I got this really cool hat.
Yeah, and then you feel it.
No one can get in a year, like a week from now.
It adds to, like, the sunken cost fallacy, right? Look at RuneScape 3. A lot of players don't want to come to old school RuneScape because they're just like, I get RuneScape 3 sucks now. Like, people, like, a lot of players don't enjoy it as much, and they understand the problems with it. But they're like, I put so much time into this account, I don't want to lose it.
Yeah,
there's so many memories tied to this specific account that I'll just keep on playing it.
Yeah.
So there's the issue with microtransactions, right?
And like, I guess when I say cosmetics, I kind of just mean, like, through, like, this whole conversation. Like, if it's like
treasure trails, you're cool with, right?
Yeah, that type of stuff. If it's linked to, like, gameplay and stuff, like, I love the giant boot.
Yeah.
It's so silly.
It's silly.
Your head is a big boot. Like, that's awesome. Sure. I regret selling mine on day one for a couple mil.
So, like, partnerships, it seems like something that could easily snowball, and it seems that way because we had the first partnership with Twitch, which people thought was harmless, and now we're having this.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of people say, like, well, you know, Dills, this isn't that big of a deal if we got some of the stuff. And, like, You know what? I can kind of agree. It could easily not be that big of a deal. But the way I see it is the best case scenario, it stops at this. The worst case scenario, well, look at RuneScape 3. That is the worst case scenario. So, like, why not try to prevent this just from play it safe and prevent microtransactions from ever coming into the game? Because that ruins things. And, yeah, not even just saying, like, with RuneScape 3 where you can buy experience and stuff, but, like, microtransactions, it's very toxic.
Even the cosmetics in RuneScape 3 are, like, kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, but, like, I just mean, like, the whole principle of it. Jim Sterling, this YouTuber, he came out with this video touching on microtransactions. Have you seen the video?
Maybe, I don't know.
It's like half an hour long. It came out like 5 days ago.
Okay, no, I haven't.
But there's a person who gave this conference, and he was talking about some of the tactics they use for when dealing with microtransactions. And it's what almost tons of companies do because it works. And he says right before he gives them, he says, you need to check your morals at the door. Because we're not talking about how, like, morality. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about how, like, whether this is a good or bad practice. I'm just telling you it works. If you want to make money, you do it this way. And it's like there's 3 steps. It's hook. You want to hook the player onto your game. Habit. You make it so players playing the game a couple times a day. And then hobby. So now no longer it's not a game. It's a hobby to them.
Yeah.
So
that's old school.
Yeah, they've skipped all of that.
I haven't played, like, in a month probably, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are probably like, he's still not playing, but I literally want to play the game every day. I was actually thinking, I was actually going to tweet DNRS. I was going to make a joke tweet on the bus today being like, I haven't played in a month, but every time I'm on the bus coming home after work, I just want to bust out mobile and just play it. But I'm like, I know I'm going to miss my bus stop. Because the one time I did, I fucking realized I'm at the transit downtown, and I'm like, all right, this 15-minute bus route now is an hour and a half.
It's going to cost me $30 because I got to call an Uber.
No, I just took another bus and kept playing. Yeah. Wound up another transit. No, but a terminal. But, like, yeah, the game, like, once you get, it's a meme that it's like internet crack, right?
Yeah. Microtransactions, they just normally lead to shitty practices where it's like the hook, habit, hobby. You hook your player, becomes a habit, and then it becomes a hobby. They're playing it all the time. During the hook phase, that's like the most crucial to get someone to spend a little bit of money, just a little bit. They send them, that's when you get the best deals for your game. Because once you spend money, the next time is easier to spend money. Mm-hmm. And I've seen it. I play a bunch of these freemium mobile games, and they're fun, but they're super, you hit these paywalls, and you're like, fuck, man. If I really want to compete, I need to spend money. Like, I was playing that Badlands Brawl. I haven't played that game in a long time because...
You still get notifications for it?
No, they're not too bad. But the issue I have is, like, I play the game, pop up, hey, you have 3 hours to purchase this. It's only $2.99, and it's 7 times the deal. You know, if you don't purchase this now, you're missing out. And I'm always like... There's a few times I'm like, shit, you know, what's my Google balance at? Like, I use Google Rewards, I get free money. What's it at? And then I go like... What the fuck am I doing? No, I don't need this. Mm-hmm. Like it's for like a 30-second rush. But they do that, and then they have all these methods. Like I think it's FIFA. I was seeing where they have a player that's worth $100. You can spend money for $100 player. That player's not there for anyone to buy it. That player's there so that you look at the $50 player and you're like, well, shit. That's way better bang for your buck. 50, that's half the price of that one. I don't have a problem purchasing that, right?
Yep.
It's just... Anyways, that's why I don't want microtransactions in the game at all. So we have bonds.
But here's the issue, though.
It's controversial for sure, yeah.
So everyone knows our gripes and the problems, but how does Jagex get partnerships now? We've kind of cucked the game into stagnating.
Yeah, mobile was the best thing for it.
The only thing they can do is like release it on console.
But even still, like
like the Switch.
Most people
VR. How do you?
Everyone knows RuneScape, and they're not going to convince players to come in and join the game by adding another, end game boss. Because they a lot of people just don't like the mechanics of RuneScape. They don't like the grind. They're just like, I know the game. I'm not playing it though, right? I don't know what type of partnerships you could add. Like, cross partnerships with, I get like a Fortnite. I could see them doing that because it's beneficial to Jagex. That's a huge player base. Imagine Fortnite has a week where it's like, hey, what we're gonna do is the map's gonna be Gielinor. You're gonna fly in, drop into Gielinor in Fortnite. Tons of people are gonna be like, what is this?
Or even like link your Epic Games account to RuneScape. Hey, you got a client, go on your computer, go on your phone, link the account, whatever, and you get the bot skin or like a rune pickaxe as your pickaxe in Fortnite.
Yeah.
But what does Fortnite benefit or Epic Games benefit from doing that? Jagex is tapping into a game launcher / millions of players versus them tapping into 150,000. Like everyone, like most people have played Fortnite who are listening.
Yeah, I've played it.
So what is Jagex's pull when they sit down at the table? Like,
you can offer them money. You can offer them advertising, right? You could offer.
But like, are we really a good advertising base?
It works for Twitch. Well, that's why they keep doing it with Twitch, right?
Well, like, because Twitch is very, very different with other games companies, though.
But I mean, like, the only other way I could see, like, that's the thing for other games specifically, not really going to work because RuneScape is a game where unless you can play a game side by side, but there's not many games you can do that with. Mm-hmm. So for the most part, it's like, well, if there's a partnership with Fortnite might lose some players to RuneScape. Why would they want that?
Yeah, like what? Like the thing is, the partners that Jagex has to look at to like not just throw in cosmetics and be like, okay, yeah, whatever, can't really be other video game companies, which is the easiest solution.
Platforms like Facebook, follow our page on Facebook and get, I don't know, something on RuneScape, or, you know.
Like, honestly, like, the best thing I can think of is, like, I don't know how Jagex to do this, but, like, strike a deal with Netflix. Have some weird series, or have the documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
In the UK.
Shit, there it is.
And then you can get, like, a TV in your POH that you have to build with, like, 80 construction, you know what I mean?
You get a shirt, a Netflix shirt. It's just Netflix on it.
Well,
right?
like, even if it's like not like an item that you can like you go to your POH, you go to like a random room, whatever room they decide to make a fit, allow you to add a TV.
Or maybe you get like
that you like need to actually construct though. You need the level, you need the like resources, and then it just has like Netflix or like a living room. Mm-hmm. Add that to the POH and you get like Netflix and chill meme.
What I could see is like, let's say Game of Thrones is still in their last season. They strike up with HBO Go, I think that's what it's called, HBO Go.
Sure.
On demand, whatever it is. But they're like, hey, partner up. They'll do some, I don't know, whatever it is. But in RuneScape, you'll get your player-owned house. You get your throne to turn into the Iron Throne. Like, how many people are sitting there like, that's fucking, I'd get that. Right?
But like, that's like, yeah, like my whole like.
But then turns out you have to sign up for HBO Go for a month, right?
Yeah, but like my whole thing with like Netflix is that like you could add a POH. I mean, obviously this is never gonna happen because like player bases, whatever. If they add, like, I only bring that up because you could have a room that you have to pay to unlock that people would do. It's kind of funny. You have an actual living room. You could invite your e-girl over to Netflix and chill, quite literally. But, like, not have it free. Have you actually to construct it with the high level.
Yeah.
And then just have, like, the documentary. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they have to find different ways to do partnerships. Like, there's no actual good... That's a really bad solution.
But you know how a lot of them do it? And this Destiny did it? They partnered up with Red Bull. If you bought a Red Bull, you could get a code on the, like... there's some code on the Red Bull can. You type that into Destiny, and you had a chance of unlocking this speed racer in game. So like RuneScape could do that with like Doritos. You know what I mean? Like,
what would you like unlock though?
Well, it was like the thing you unlocked in Destiny had nothing to do with like Red Bull. It was just the only thing. It was a red colored thing. So it could be like Mountain Dew. Open up the cap. You have a chance to get this. You have a chance for this code. Type it in on RuneScape, and now you can like, I don't know. Now you have the green skin. You know, and like you have a chance to unlock that. So now you're like, well, shit, I don't like Mountain Dew.
So you're saying you want them to do that?
No, I don't want them to do that. But I'm saying that's how Destiny did it. And I found myself being like...
But like right now, like I'm at the part where like, what should they do?
Oh, what should they do?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I bring up like Netflix. Bad idea. Don't be like, well, Deegan, big brain, because like
So sick.
it would never happen. Like unless it was like a UK exclusive thing, because you know Jagex majority is from like the UK or Europe, whatever. Like we're out here in Canada, we wouldn't be getting the documentary.
Yeah.
But like, well, that'd be dope. But like,
When it comes to like what should they partner with, if there's any type of partnership they should do, the only ones I can think of is like the mental health charities they do, right?
but
Just do some partnership with that. I mean, they do a partnership with that,
like it
but
doesn't
benefit any.
it doesn't bring players to the game. So like right
Yeah.
now, we've brought up a bunch of issues and things they shouldn't do.
There's no other solution, right?
We don't have any answers that would work realistically that they could pull.
Well, it comes down to marketing, and
They'd have to have like some Don Draper dude just chilling. Like, okay, you're gonna go in there, you're gonna do some crazy shit, you're gonna strike up this deal, and you're gonna get us like a partnership that we do not deserve, right? Like, because if you look at the other partnerships, they have like, what is it, Cool Blast PCs, like
Chill Blast, yeah.
Like I don't even know what it is. I didn't even know what the name was until you corrected me. Like it's a company that I've never heard of. That like I don't know what they do. I'm assuming it's like Ironside.
Yeah,
where you buy pre-built PCs.
I do have to look up something because now I'm curious. What's the difference between a sponsorship and a partnership?
Well, sponsorship is more of an investment into like a specific thing, right? Like the sponsorship, like
Okay.
you will be reached out and they'll be like, we want to like invest. You do this for us and you get this. A partnership would be like, let's strike up a deal. We can kind of like help each other, right?
Chill Blast is sponsoring. Is a sponsorship.
Okay.
They give computers to Jagex to give away.
Okay.
And they get advertising because now we know what Chill Blast is.
Well, evidently, not really, because
50% of us do.
yeah.
But partnerships means it's 50-50. So yeah, it'd be like it's yeah.
Jagex has a very big, dedicated player base. So without abusing it, how are you going to convince?
I don't know.
It would be like if you're like an artist and you do commissions, and then some guy comes to you with the most specific, pickiest, like, I want Neve with 3 boobs, a big hog, multicolored tie-dye skin. I'll give you exposure on my Twitter. I have 50 followers. Like, you know what I mean? You're doing all this weird stuff. You're jumping through hoops for them, and then you're not really getting anything in the end. Like, I'm not saying Jagex is like a super small company. Like they are like a decent size, and like they are like well respected within the MMO like genre.
I honestly can't think of any partnerships they could do that wouldn't be a bad partnership in the end. Like, I can see them partnering up with like freemium games on mobile. Easily, because it's like the freemium market is a rotating player base because people get bored after they spent hundreds of dollars, they move on to another game.
Yeah.
So having them bounce to RuneScape and then bounce to other games from RuneScape, I can see them doing that, but that's terrible.
Yeah, but
they need a store to spend money on.
So like, I don't know. I don't want to like
we could go in circles, but like
there's just like there's no way they can, unless like, let's have a competition, guy. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know. I would like to hear suggestions if you're like, well, this is a partnership I think they could do. That would be a positive partnership
but
that wouldn't affect negatively in the game at all down the road or anything.
But like,
I can't think of any.
Because like, I don't know. You can't just pick a company and say they should do it with this. It's like this. It's a shell company. Let's just pretend this company's a gray rock. How do you convince them to partner with you? What can we bring to the table? And it's like, well, no cosmetics, no pay to win stuff.
Yeah,
like free membership, but then, well, it's you know what I mean. It doesn't seem like,
to me it seems like
it's a lose-lose.
It will snowball if we allow this into the game, and I'll say, like, I definitively think it will snowball to something way worse. Where like maybe you'll start, I don't know. I definitely see it snowballing though. If this comes to the game, that eventually you want to sweeten the deal for the Fortnite community. So like, okay, here maybe you get the new Fortnite hammer. or something, right? And it's just
until someone like suggests like how like what method they could do or what they could like offer as a concept, so like a specific idea, I just don't think partnerships will work. But I could be completely wrong because I don't know much about this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look in to see some how other partnerships how it works. Because I just did a quick Google and there are some,
but they're way bigger. It's Splatoon, it's Nintendo, it's
Splatoon
Halo
meets
5,
up,
it's
teams up.
Bungie Activision, it's Madden, NFL,
Doritos. So yeah, I don't know, but this is something that I'm totally against, and it's shit, man. Year 7 could be a real thing. Mod Ash, I think it was, said that year 7 is when most MMOs die.
X Mod Matt K.
Was it Mod Matt K? X Mod Matt K?
I believe so. Doesn't matter who, but
yeah. Anyway, so it could be very real. And before we get out of here, speaking of X Mod Matt K, he did put his opinion on this dev blog, and he says, well, someone tweeted him, Pay J, and they said, what's your opinion on the cosmetics? In my eyes, this is the start of adding microtransactions to old school RuneScape, leading the way to self-destruction, just like RuneScape 3 had. Matt K said, the question I always had, which I could not answer with a good conscience, was, what benefit does adding them as a reward from a partnership give to the community which isn't already gained by giving them to players directly? I'll be voting no, as I'd prefer to see these added normally. So I think that's important. Do any of these items benefit from coming from a partnership for us versus, just adding them into the game?
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
well,
I mean, Matt K really cared about this game.
With that tweet was kind of just summed up what we were just talking about.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he's one who's like, I'm voting no, which has you thinking.
Yeah.
Why did he leave in the first place?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. I think he works construction or something.
Matt K?
He made a tweet of himself at the top of a building saying, like, this is my view from work, and he's on top of a building.
Maybe he just, like, went on the top of...
He tagged some company, and I looked them up. I couldn't find it. It wasn't a real Twitter account, so I don't know. Anyways, yeah. Let us know your opinions. It's a very controversial subject. A lot of people are against it, but if your thing is it's a good thing, I want to hear the other side of it. Let us know why you think it is. What kind of partnerships do you think would be good? So,
yeah, I just want to know like a solution.
Yeah,
because this one thing that kind of bugs me is that like everyone has, including myself, thousands of gripes and like criticisms, but no one can bring an actual solution that works.
And if it's a marketing thing, then come up with another event like Deadman Mode. That seems to do pretty good. 50,000 viewers. Come on, that's good.
Yep.
It's not bad.
Yep. Or abuse RS3.
Yeah.
Just let them take another shot.
Yeah, unfortunately. But speaking of RuneScape 3, because we can end on a more kind of positive note, I saw an article that RuneScape 3 is coming out with what they call an expansion. Basically, too big to call it just an update. It's a whole expansion, and they're bringing dinosaurs into RuneScape 3 through the paleontology skill. No, not actually, but pretty similar. They're adding a new island named Anacoronia, and it's going to be an island of dinosaurs, these big monsters, and there's going to be a new Slayer Master, and it's supposed to be like a new type of Slayer where it's like a big game slayer.
So like Monster Hunter.
Like Monster Hunter. And
see, that sounds fucking awesome.
It's coming out July 8th. So it might be out the same time this podcast is released. But yeah, I read that and I was like, that's fucking cool. Someone listened to a bonus episode, got the whole team working on the paleontology skill. But no, but seriously, that sounds cool. It's.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Monster Hunter World, and I love that idea.
It's cool to have a Slayer task where it's like you have one monster to kill. Good luck. Go find it. Go track it. Good luck.
Yeah.
No one really knows. But
side note, sorry to make this episode even more tangent-y. What is your idea of or what do you think about the idea of linking skill expansions or expanding on skills, but by linking them to other skills? So, Slayer expansion number 40, right? Whatever we're at now, 42. I lost track. But if they were to do like this, right? Like a big game Hunter Slayer thing, but have the skill linked to Hunter, where like the tracking gets you the Hunter experience.
And then you kill the monster for Slayer?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. And then maybe you need to have like 70 Hunter to even start it.
Exactly.
That's a cool idea. I'd be down for that.
As a concept, like
that would make some skills that suck to train a lot of fun to train.
Or like, yeah, like, okay, it would be annoying. Like, it'd be kind of funny, but like, hey, you need 83 rune crafting to kill this Slayer guy, this boss monster on our fossil or our dinosaur island, right?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny because, yeah. But you know what I mean? Like more maybe of a Hunter, like Slayer type thing, linking like farming and herb lore.
It's cool. You can have a whole new island of like, and hitting all the ones where it's like, maybe you need base 60s before you can even do this, or 60s in the certain skills. But you could be like, hey, you got a task to go kill like a spectral ent. You got to go chop some trees until this ent comes alive. So you got to fight it now.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I'll be down for
that's what I mean. Yeah. Like,
that'd be sick. It would turn a lot of tedious skills into something that's more fun.
I mean, the only drawback is that everyone's going to want increased rates to everything, and that'll all pass the poll. We're like level 30 or chopping vines like an RS3.
It could be one of those things where it's like, obviously you'll get way more experience just from chopping redwoods. But, you know, if you want to do some Slayer, you want to do combat, want to get some money, you get a little bit of woodcutting experience while you do it.
But you need 90 woodcutting.
Yeah. It gives you, like, you actually have these tiers, and then you can't even enter the island until you hit 70 woodcutting, 70
or
hunter.
Or it's like a cluster of islands, and it's like base 30s, 20s, 40s, and you're like...
Shit. It's a cool idea.
Max, they give an actual reason to go to the Max Isle. The Virgin Isles.
Sweet.
The BVI. British Virgin Isles.
That would be dope, though. Jagex, fuck off with the partnerships and give us that update. But yeah, makes me want to check out RuneScape 3 a little bit. And then I'm going to realize that it's a pain in the ass to play that game, so yeah. There's your updates for the most part. So this episode's gone a bit longer. I was going to say let's move on to lore, but I'm sorry I'm going to push off one more week.
We busy. Could segue this to the skills.
Let's do the skills. Actually, let me see if we got to teleport back in time first. Forgot about that. Nope. False alarm. We're not going back in time this week. Next week we will, though. Let's go to the Grand Exchange, and then we'll talk about the event. We'll give our 3 winners. What do you say?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that real quickly. All right, so the first things first, audibletrial.com/wild. Free audiobook and a free month. I'm reading the physical book of Black Prism. It's pretty good. I've been enjoying it again. I'm getting back into reading because I'm trying to get a more healthier schedule. I'm biking to work, too. So I need to wake up earlier and not be so damn tired. So I'm going to bed earlier, and reading helps me sleep. Maybe listen to books will help you sleep. Deegan, you're doing your Harry Potter shit.
Maybe you're literate like I am, and you like to listen to the wonderful voice of Jim Dale. He narrates Harry Potter.
Sick.
He's got the best Hagrid. Oh, I love it. Anyways, yeah, I've been I was shredding some Goblet of Fire today at work because I was just like to my boss, like before we opened, like, I'm going to listen to my audiobook while I'm opening. And she's like, which book? And I said, Harry Potter. And she went, that's cute, but in like a very heartwarming, like, oh, okay. You're so cute, Deegan. You like Harry Potter? And then I explained to her, it gets more adultish.
Yeah.
Especially the fanfic, which Jim Dale doesn't narrate yet, but
soon.
It's
not much more material out there.
Yeah. There's a lot of material out there. audibletrial.com/wild.
Yeah, check it out. See some of the books that you might want to listen to. It might be on there. Or you can do both if you want. Mr. Money's over there. You can join us on Patreon at patreon.com/thewildernesspodcast. Our supporter of the week is... let's do Tanko Stylz. Tanko Stylz is the supporter of the week. Thank you very much for supporting the show. If you want to join the friendly folks there, you can get your little badge in the clan chat. Which I got to figure out what we're doing with some of the ranks there, because God, Jagex just update the damn fuck the sponsorships, update the clan chat.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, maybe
you know what they could do?
Clash
Royale, or like one of those clan.
Clash of Clans, yeah.
Their partnership is to give us an actual clan system.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. You can drop your Clash of Clans, the Supercell logo. That's the company that makes those games.
Have an optional toggle effect.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
You can have the angry cartoon face.
Would you spend if they had like a microtransaction store, but the only thing there was a new clan system? Would you purchase that?
Yeah. 100%.
But then swiftly quit the game because we're totally against that shit.
I'd drop like $100 on our clan if they were like, hey, Guild Wars 1 clan setup system. We're gonna copy that. It's gonna cost you $100. I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Shit, they could do that with Guild Wars, right?
Nexon.
Oh shit! Don't get Nexon to create the clan system.
Yeah, we're gonna
every click you get billed.
Yeah.
God damn. But yeah. So we're totally against microtransactions in games, but podcasts. Oh,
ironically, we do have a microtransaction based system.
I guess with the smiley, right?
Partnership. Well, that, but also some of the stuff we released with the bonus episode.
Yeah, there was some pre-releases.
Trickled into the Patreon first.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
So we're walking contradictions right now.
We are. So, yeah, you probably want to...
But there's no good solutions.
It's all bad. So we just chose the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. You guys are still getting your content. Don't worry. Just at a later date.
We did the one bonus episode, okay? So it took us almost a year to bust that one out, too.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it took a lot out of me. Support the show at patreon.com/thewildernesspodcast. I hope you just fast forward through all of that. Maybe you weren't listening. But anyways, speaking of bonus episodes, we had that skill contest that happened. And we had 13 great suggestions. And then we had the one essence mining.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it was
pretty funny.
It was pretty good.
It was a good way to
break up the recording.
I guess so.
Yeah, it was a lot of thought provokers, and then we had one that was just
a good goof.
Anyways, we had 14 great suggestions. We said we were going to choose 3 of our favorites. Well, me and Deegan are going to choose our favorites, and then we're going to both vote on a favorite together. But we also have a survey out on Discord where you can vote as well. Probably episode 140 is when we're going to announce that one. Yeah. So let's get right into it.
So if you guys could see the video, we do have a video of us doing it like Survivor style.
Oh,
like
right.
the TV show where we look at a camera and then
we whisper into the
camera.
we
show what we wrote and then we put it in, and then it awkwardly enough we put the same one in, and then so we had to okay, well, we can't do that. Let's do it again. No, I'm joking, but
it was a lot of work. We had to find an island and everything.
Yeah, it was really weird. 2 white guys buying a lot of tiki torches at Walmart. They were wondering what we were doing.
Yeah, but then we just showed them as RuneScape and oh yeah, you're good. Those people are fucking weird, so we're not even gonna ask questions.
Yeah, they gave us some buckets and we left.
Yeah, you want some buckets with it? It's free. Anyways, for reals though, we got... Oh, no, I didn't name this properly. Oh, yeah. So, all the skills in total, it was performance, cryptozoology, riftomancy, speech, commerce, demonology, deception, paleontology, charisma, livestock, scribe, marksmanship, and finally, piracy. Those were all the skills. I'll be real, it was so fucking hard to choose them all because there wasn't one skill that I didn't like. I did like them all. Whether or not they fit into the game... well, whatever. But I thought they were all cool concepts, and I felt like there was a place you could bring them into the game, but maybe not as a skill.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I liked them all. Some of them just couldn't fit. Some of them, were just I used to add as an expansion.
Yeah.
I kind of, if I'm being brutally honest, there's a couple that like got my goose. I was like, oh,
That's good, right? That's positive.
yeah, yeah. Well, it can be bad if someone's giving you the goose.
Right.
That's bad. But if your goose is getting got, that's good.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
It's like if you're shredding or being shredded. Like to shred is good, but
All
to
right.
be shredded is bad. Anyways,
Point is, super hard to choose the winners. We'll name our 3 winners, the one who gets voted on as well in episode 140. But I'll be real, we're gonna reward everyone who wrote in. Just different tiers of rewards.
yeah.
You guys are all winners in the end. It was just so surprised by all the work that went in here. But anyways, our 3 winners. Deegan, what was your first? Who are you choosing?
Scribe.
It's the scribe skill.
Yeah, if you have like a like a sound effect.
You want me to add?
Yeah, maybe like insert Scooby Doo run sound.
Oh, that's not gonna happen.
No,
I'll see if I can.
I don't even.
you go.
Anyways, yeah,
So the scribe skill, cool.
yeah. I chose Scribe because it hit a nice place in my heart.
Yeah.
It like, well, I like it because like it was an idea that like one, it was like super well put together and everything. You know what I mean? Like it was very like the guy had art.
Yeah.
I like
okay.
that. But like the main thing is that like it was a skill that like dipped into a side of the community that I never thought would be a thing.
Yeah.
And like if you're like following the subreddit pretty hard, like if you look at like the top subreddit post, it's like some dude that did some crazy editing of Swamp Athletics.
Yeah.
But like it taps in like the creative, like the truly creative, not the shitpost creative, but the truly like creative part of the community. In just in terms of like writing and like directing like the little plays and all that.
Yeah.
But like I love the ideas of like building known players or something like that in like a different way, as opposed to like this guy is known for like his YouTube or his Twitch career, or this guy is just like he role plays on that one world all the time. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
whatever.
We have those players, yeah, for
But
sure.
like it opens up like a whole new casual, like it taps in the casual base too of like I've seen this guy's name, Drew G. He's always the POH, and you just know that from playing the game. It's like, dude, I read one of your books. It was sick. When's the next one coming out? Like, I just like really like that concept, and also the idea of like someone being able to like really sit down, enjoy, and like click that thumbs up before they log out.
Yeah.
Without like, well, I got a good drop today. You know what I mean? Like you're able to sit down and like have an outlet.
Have fun and not just be satisfied by whatever reward you got.
Yeah, but the thing is, it is rewarding though, where you can like you
Create
know,
something, right?
get put in a library, have your books get like, you know, bought and sold, like be in a collection. Like, I don't know, it's really cool. It like reminded me of like those like Redditors, like Shitty Watercolor and Poem for Your Sprawl, where they're known for like that one thing, but then they do like a book or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's cool. Like, I just liked how like you can implement that type of player. They could thrive on this game.
Yeah, that's and it's a cool way to look at it. It's a different perspective of a skill. So yeah, first winner, Scribe, Matakos 1, creator of the Scribe skill.
Yeah.
My choice, shit, damn it, we should have picked another supporter of the week. Fuck. It was really hard for me to choose them. I had like tons of them that I was like, maybe this one I was going back and forth on, but I'm going with the piracy skill submitted by Tanko Stylz. Coincidentally, is the supporter of the week.
Yeah.
Anyways.
How much did he do? How much is what Patreon tier? He's a diamond tier, huh?
Surprisingly enough, the most money he's been he pledged out of anyone. Unbelievable. I really liked the piracy skill. He really knew his shit about piracy, which probably was kind of cool. Had me like fantasizing of like, you know, getting like I just saw a lot of potential when it came to like PvP being introduced with boats and stuff. Okay, that's a bit far fetched, but you know what I mean. Like my imagination was going, and
developing like gout or scurvy.
Yeah, and
orange skin.
I was just gonna say the orange skin.
Wow. Okay.
So, but I liked it. I saw it being like you could level up yourself with the different rankings. So like maybe Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot you could do with it. It doesn't even need to be its own skill because people would want to rank up their ranking name, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yep.
The greenhorn. So that was the one that I thought was really cool. I mean, I thought they were all super fucking good, and that's why it was so tough. But one thing that like piracy did for me is like, shit, I kind of want to read a book on pirates now.
Yeah.
It
got your goose.
Yeah, it got my goose. Not anime, not that One Piece.
Yeah. Stretchy Gumfruit Kid.
I don't know. I just don't have time. Don't have time to read 700 books. And then the one we voted on together.
Riftomancy?
Yeah, that was okay. Good. Our vote hasn't changed.
Why do I have a question mark at the end of that? It was Riftomancy.
So Riftomancy by Weds Bob. I mean, what I liked about the Riftomancy was opening rifts, and it gave you a lot of like going to different planes, but also like be cool to go back in time. You know, the wilderness was like the biggest kingdom at one point. It was the Zeros Empire before it got just desecrated by mainly Saradomin and the Zamorakian armies who fought over it. Be cool to go back in time and seeing this new area open up, which is like this thriving city.
Yeah, I loved how it taps into PVM, skilling, exploration, and then like lore.
Yeah.
Like having lore baked into a skill. You could like it like you could do so much with it. And like in terms of expansion and all that, like you could add so much more to it. Like we don't have anything to do for like a month. Well, let's just do Riftomancy stuff. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And you open up a portal and it gives you so many different. You can go into it. Next thing you know, you're facing like the demon of all demons. Maybe you're facing Zamorak himself at level 99 or something. Maybe went into the future and you got to battle microtransactions and the Twitch CEO and Fortnite.
Jeff Bezos is the boss. Nudes that got sent.
Nudes?
Didn't his nudes get leaked?
Should I Google this?
Yeah, look up Jeff Bezos' dong.
Whatever we come to. No, I'm typing in nudes. Nothing's popping up.
Oh my god!
It's just his head, his face head.
Reportedly leaked by
Lauren Sanchez.
Yeah, look
Who's
at that.
Lauren Sanchez?
The richest guy on earth, and his nudes got leaked, eh?
As an actress.
Oh, atta girl.
Oh, news anchor, media personality, actress.
Follow the money.
Pilot and entrepreneur. Wow, she does a lot. Well, look, she got a.
She was steering those nuts, if you know what I mean.
Oh boy. Anyways, yeah. So, Riftomancy, you are the one voted on by the two of us, and we're gonna have the fourth winner being voted on by the community itself. But again, special shout out to everyone who sent in their skill ideas. They were all super fucking sick.
Yep.
Performance by Aravian, great. Cryptozoology by Smile Dude. I'm not gonna say great every time, but they're all great. So, Cryptozoology by Smile Dude. Speech by Third Age Lars. Commerce by I'm Cool 42069. Demonology by I Kill Pandas. Deception by Ohm. Paleontology by Muka Mad. Charisma by King Amphion. Livestock by Ohm Fries. Scribe by Maticos 1. Marksmanship by IW Sarah Jane. Piracy Tanko Stylz. So all super cool awards. So yeah, we're gonna get some rewards out to everyone who submitted it
but still vote because that does play a factor.
Oh yeah, so yeah, of course, the ones that we chose and the one who's gonna get voted on will get the highest reward, of course.
Yeah,
awesome, cool stuff. And thanks again for that submission. All the submission. That was an awesome contest, way better than I expected. Like the turnout was amazing. So we'll have to do more of that in the future. Anyways, let's drop in everything. You can get in touch with us in-game, WildCC, email, thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com, Facebook, The Wilderness Podcast at facebook.com/thewildernesspodcast, Twitter @thewildernessrs, and I almost said Instagram, but no, not there.
Not yet.
Yeah, Discord, though, is linked on Facebook and Twitter. You can find it there. Come join in. And Deegan's got your things.
Twitter, Deegan.
All right.
Well, just Twitter. I don't really... No, I'm on. It's been like well over a year since I've like I don't even really use Twitch anymore. But
yeah, I do. I've done a bit of streaming. I was doing a little bit of streaming today and trying to do more of that Rune Radio stuff. But I'll have to see. I don't know if I'll be able to get a full on schedule out because I get busy, rocking the 2 jobs now.
Yep.
But yeah, awesome guys. Thanks for tuning in this week. Our song of the week is going to be It will be let's do attack 5. King Black Dragon Lair. Why not? Is unlocked. Oh, and it's also the same song unlocked in the Temple of Ikov dungeon and in the icy area where the ice spiders are south of the Ranging Guild. Ian Taylor is the composer. The reason they share the same track is because King Black Dragon used to be where the Temple of Ikov is, and that's next to the icy area. But when everything was moved, all the music was locked to those areas still.
Yeah,
so,
when the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah, the goddamn Fire Nation. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Until next week.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yep, take care, everybody.